Not to be morbid, but my husband's dead. Oh, hey, guys. Hey, welcome in. I got the bad cop hat on tonight. We got the bad cop hat on tonight. You know what that means? It's going to be one of those nights. I hope you're adjusting to daylight savings time. No one at church this morning did. There were like 10 people there. I don't think anybody's clocks changed in the middle of the night. I prepared accordingly. I was up. I was ready to go. I was raring to go, as they say. But, man, the parking lot was empty. There were very few people present. It was crazy. Now, granted, I did not make it up for the 7 o'clock because I was a little tired. Extra night plus the Australian Grand Prix last night. I don't know if you, for those who celebrate. But I had to don the bad cop hat tonight because we're going to get a little bad copy at times tonight. And I didn't want to lose my cool without some sort of warning. So this is your warning. This is what you get. We've got the attack birds in full effect out on social media. And the main attack seems to be that doggone show is just too effective, hilarious, entertaining, and truthful. And so that's going to be a problem for us down the road. We better start attacking. That's the best I can tell. So for you attackers, I say you're welcome as well. Come on in. Have fun. Just remember, even if you're attacking the program, hit like on your way in. Just click the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. You're going to want to be here. We got a big show lined up. We got a lot to accomplish today. I even took a shower and then donned the bad cop hat. I could have done this dirty. All right. I want to set up a couple of things here real quick. First, I want to set up sort of from the openings where we're going for the next little while. A lot of people are having trouble grasping the concept of a patsy. They're having trouble with what a patsy is. So I'm going to give you some examples in some openings here in the near future. Tonight's one of them. We're going to talk about a patsy, patsy gone wrong, a patsy recruit that didn't quite make it. So we'll talk about that. We'll hit some other famous patsies here in the very near future, and we'll give you an idea of how this happens. I put up a map that Tim Tebow had in front of Congress last week where it had all these red dots where all the people looking at illegal images of young people. We'll just leave it there. We'll talk about illegal young people tonight a little bit. And we'll ask questions about why do certain people always end up around illegal young people, but that's okay. We'll get to that. I don't want to get ahead of myself. There's some confusion, but we'll get there. But I put up the map and it had all the little red dots where all these people allegedly are downloading illegal things to do with children. And then there were very few blue dots. And I said, the blue dots seem to be where they're recruiting the patsies. They're vetting potential patsies. The red dot, obviously, is all the potential patsies in the world. If they don't turn out to be patsy material, maybe they get arrested, maybe they get scolded, maybe they get a slap on the wrist, maybe they're told to shape up or ship out. But the blue dots are the indications that the federal authorities are looking at these potential patsies, looking at these people engaged in illegal activity, in my opinion, to see can they be utilized for nefarious purposes going forward. So I brought that up in the last show or a couple shows ago, and we will explore that a little more in some of our openings, because the opening tonight has to do with I think what was trying to be a patsy recruiter, a patsy recruitment gone wrong. So we'll talk about that. I also have to get into some just completely blatantly dishonest stuff that's going on. I want to tie it to a potential national political run. And then I want to dig into the way past and see, are there some things that happened that maybe they're trying to hide in the past because they focus on certain things and downplay certain things. So we'll talk about that. We finally got an answer. Why is it that the Turning Point USA people are continually using Charlie Kirk's name to put out their messaging? They finally answered that question for us here in the last couple of days. It was weird when they answered it. It's obvious they knew it was a weak spot. It's obvious to me, anyway. It's obvious to me that they knew this was a real problem they had on their hands. And so we will talk about that as well. So buckle up. Enjoy the ride. If I lose my cool on a few people tonight, just understand it's all part of the plan. That's why I put the hat on. I was trying to warn you. I like to give you a heads up of what's going to happen. Just wanted to, didn't want to hide anything from you. All right. I do want to get into the opening statement, get into Patsy land so you guys can kind of see where it is I am potentially taking a few of these opens in the next couple of days, maybe next couple of weeks. I don't know that I'll do one every day, but I am going to do some opens that have to do with Patsy's here in the near future. Because I see people getting confused on what does he mean when he says Patsy's? Where do these Patsy's come from? I get a lot of questions about it. What is a Patsy? Why a Patsy? Here a Patsy, there a Patsy, everywhere a Patsy. And so we will hopefully through some of the openings clarify that just a little bit. So tonight's open, I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. Tonight's open is coming up right now. Khalil Abu Rayyan is his name. Khalil Abu Rayyan. He was born around 1995 to immigrant parents from Jordan. His parents had settled in the Dearborn Heights, Michigan area, a Detroit suburb known for its large Arab American and Muslim community. He identified strongly with his Arab heritage and Muslim faith and often posted about these aspects of his life on social media. Khalil grew up in a working-class family. His father owned a pizzeria in Detroit, where Khalil eventually worked as a delivery driver. His delivery driver job involved long, late-night shifts navigating desolate inner-city streets, which he found both monotonous and, frankly, a little dangerous. So to cope with the boredom and isolation, he frequently indulged in a bad habit. He smoked marijuana. It's a habit that began when he was just 17 years old. His mental health issues surfaced early in his life. At the age of 12, he confided in a teacher about a disturbing nightmare he had, in which he brought a firearm to school and deployed it against classmates. This landed him on the radar of authorities and led to a mandatory counseling session. This marked the beginning of a documented history of psychological challenges. Throughout his teenage years, he faced fairly relentless bullying at school. This escalated into physical fights and resulted in at least 3 suspensions from school. He was particularly self-conscious about his physical appearance. He attended a local gym, but immediately felt intimidated by weightlifters and avoided social interactions there. Instead, he turned to online forums where he could craft a more empowered persona. By 2014, his online activity took a darker turn. He began consuming videos produced by terrorist entities that were gaining global notoriety at the time for brutal propaganda. He posted a graphic that included graphic content on social media, including images of things like people missing their heads, and the people being, frankly, burnt alive. And it was also things like execution of people thrown from rooftops for their alleged deviant lifestyles. These posts were not just passive shares. He actually was commenting on them. He was retweeting videos and remarking, "Thanks, brother, that made my day." And this behavior signaled a fascination with this sort of ideology, and it was intertwined with his personal loneliness and depression. He portrayed himself online as a menacing warrior, and it contrasted sharply with his real-life personality and real-life insecurities. His troubles escalated in late 2015. In October that year, he was pulled over by Detroit police for speeding. Officers discovered a concealed .22 caliber handgun, 4 plastic bags of marijuana, and some sleeping pills in his car. He was arrested and released on bond. But the incident once again landed him on the radar of authorities, this time as what is known as a prohibited person under federal law. Specifically, he was now known to law enforcement as an unlawful user of a controlled substance. This barred him from possessing firearms. In fact, he attempted to purchase a new firearm shortly after the arrest, but was denied due to the pending charges. 2 weeks after that, he rented an AK-47 style rifle and an AR-15 style rifle at a local firing range, and he practiced with them, but he didn't take them home. Around this time in late 2015, he tweeted a photo of himself cloaked in camouflage, holding a firearm and pointing his index finger skyward. This was a gesture often associated with support of certain terrorist groups. The caption read, "Sawat hunting," and referred to Sunni tribesmen who opposed ISIS and allied with U.S.-led forces in Iraq. These posts and others caught the attention of the FBI. The FBI had been monitoring him since at least May of 2015 due to his social media activity. By this point, Khalil was in a state of chronic gloom. This was exacerbated by court appearances from his October arrest. He experienced suicidal thoughts and at one point purchased a rope with the intention of hanging himself. His family later described him as a vulnerable young man, had no prior criminal history beyond a few minor infractions. They said he was shy, awkward, and desperately seeking companionship. A defense-hired psychologist assessed his risk of violence as very low and attributed his online statements to a longing for attention rather than any kind of genuine radicalization. Shortly after his tweet in late 2015, the FBI began running a sting operation on Khalil. About a week after that post, an undercover FBI employee contacted him on Twitter. The undercover FBI employee deployed the persona Gada, G-H-A-A-D-A. Gada, at least according to the fake profile the FBI was using, was a young Pakistani American Muslim woman from Cleveland. Gada described herself as a woman facing family pressure for an arranged marriage, and this resonated with Khalil's cultural background. The conversations quickly turned romantic. This marked the first time Khalil had ever had a girlfriend. Within days, they were discussing wedding plans, even though they had never met in person. Khalil expressed overwhelming emotion in their messages. Quote, "While I was driving, I started to cry because of how happy I am to have you," end quote. Gada responded affectionately, quote, "Don't cry, my love, please." Notice the "my love" there used by the FBI just in case it ever comes up in the future in a case in Utah. This prompted Khalil to reply, "It's tears of joy. I never felt this way before." He added, "I need you. You had me from our first tweet." He shared visions with her of their future, including how many children he wanted to have, and mentioned that he and his father had planned to visit her in Cleveland to formalize their engagement. The relationship built Khalil up emotionally, and it provided the companionship he craved. Messages showed his deep affection for Gada. Quote, "Every time I close my eyes, I see you right by me. Words can't explain my love for you." However, the FBI abruptly ended this persona's communication. Gada disappeared off the face of the earth without explanation. This devastated Khalil. It left him extremely vulnerable. But it was all part of the plan. It set the stage for the next phase of the operation. Because just 2 days after Gada's immediate and sudden disappearance, another undercover FBI employee reached out under the name Jannah, Jannah. Jannah posed as a 19-year-old Sunni Muslim woman whose husband had been killed in a Syrian airstrike while fighting for ISIS. She had 2 cousins who were murdered by Shia militants in Iraq. Jannah claimed to be depressed, suicidal, eager for martyrdom to avenge their losses. And the FBI, of course, entirely fabricated this entire story. These tragic backstories were fake. They were manipulative on purpose. Their communications spanned multiple platforms: Twitter, SureSpot, Skype, Facebook, Telegram. They started around December 23rd of 2015. Khalil quickly developed feelings for Jannah, telling her, quote, "It's like I knew you all my life, and I will ask you to marry me, but not now," end quote. He expressed concern for her well-being, quote, "If you are sad, I am sad," end quote. He urged her to have patience and prayed for her happiness. When Jannah steered the conversations towards violence, saying she had no desire for life and wanted to die, Khalil resisted. On December 26, just 3 days afterwards, she asked, "What do you want from this world?" He replied, "Honestly, I want to get married. I think if I get married, I will be happy. I'm just lonely sometimes. I want to start a family." Later, on January 25th, 2016, Jannah professed her willingness to join ISIS and give her life if asked, and then suggested they do it together. Khalil pushed back. "You're young and confused. I don't think you know what you want. Don't do anything that will hurt you, yourself, or other people. I want us to be together. He repeatedly tried to redirect towards marriage and a peaceful life, saying, quote, honestly, you need to think about what you want. I can't be in this game. Depression is real, but don't let it ruin your life. Despite his reluctance, Khalil began sharing violent fantasies to try to impress her and maintain her attention. He falsely claimed he had planned to shoot up a large Detroit church near his pizza shop. I tried to once. I don't know the name of it, but it's close to my job. It's one of the biggest ones in Detroit. Yeah, I had it planned out. I bought a bunch of bullets. I practiced a lot with it. I practiced reloading and unloading. But my dad searched my car one day and found everything. He found the gun, the bullets, the mask I was going to wear, and he added it would have been a bloodbath and that he would kill everyone without mercy, including women and children. He also boasted about wanting to kill the cop who arrested him in October, claiming he had a sword in his car. It's noteworthy that FBI searches after his arrest found no AK-47, no extra bullets, no mask, and no sword. The only weapon they found was the .22 caliber revolver that they confiscated in the traffic stop. Jaco persistently pushed jihad themes. In a phone conversation shortly before his arrest, Khalil discussed his suicidal ideation, mentioning the rope. Only in like a minute or two, it'll be over. My family's going to be sad for a little while, but they'll get over it. Jaco countered that suicide was only permissible in jihad. Like I told you before, when it's for the sake of Allah, when it's jihad, or when it's based on our creed or for a cause, that's the only time it's allowed. But to put your life to waste, just hang yourself like you say you want to do, that's not the right thing to do. Khalil responded by emphasizing he didn't want to hurt others or get arrested again. So on February 4th, 2016, just 2 days after a phone call where Khalil emphatically insisted he would not harm other people, FBI agents arrested him. They charged him with possession of a firearm by an unlawful user of controlled substances. It's important to note that at the time of his February 2016 arrest, he did not own or possess a firearm. Rather, the firearm for which he was arrested and possessing was the same gun police lawfully confiscated from him during his arrest in October of 2015. He was charged in October on state charges of unlawful possession of a concealed firearm. He entered a guilty plea on that charge. And it's an inescapable reality that when it became obvious Khalil would not be manipulated into becoming a violent individual, it wasn't until that point that the feds arrested him. And they arrested him for possessing the same gun he did not possess. It's the same gun for which the state police had already arrested him. He'd already entered a guilty plea for. And despite the FBI's year-long investigation, they never charged him with terrorism because it became increasingly obvious over time Khalil was, in fact, never going to become a terrorist. He was just a lonely young man working for his dad's pizza delivery business, and he was looking for a wife. His attorney pretty accurately summed up the FBI investigation as a mind-boggling double team of entrapment, where the agents mercilessly manipulated Khalil by building him up with goddess romance, only to devastate him, then exploit that vulnerability with Jaco attempting to elicit incriminating statements. That is what happens when a patsy refuses to become a patsy. And that is your opening statement. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I've always been drawn to that story. And the reason I'm drawn to it is I was 21 years old on 9/11 when everything changed. I mean, it's like the birth of Jesus, right? It kind of changed time. We talk about AD and BC time. If you say it's the year 1967, everyone on earth knows what year you're talking about. And it kind of goes back to that time. Well, I think 2001 kind of divides time the same way. Like, in a way, we're like, instead of AD, Anno Domini, 2026 now, we're like AN, after 9/11, 25 now. The world kind of divided. And I was 21 at the time. I'm 46 now. And so for the vast majority of my adulthood and well past half of my life, I've sort of lived in this reality where we've been sold this bill of goods that the FBI is out there doing the right thing. They're constantly busting up terrorist attacks. They're constantly protecting us. Oh, we got to raise the level to orange. We were at yellow. Now we're orange. Okay, back to yellow. Never green. Never green. We go from orange to yellow, sometimes red. Ooh, got to go to red. Christmas is coming. Don't want you to be happy around family. Now we'll go back to orange. You guys remember the color guide for the terrorist threat in the early years after 9/11. So I kind of grew up in this environment. And at the time, it would not have dawned on me. It does now. Every time I see a case like this now, this is the first thing I think of. But at the time, it never even dawned on me that all of these could have just been made up. Every one of these could have been made up. Every one of these busted threats. Oh, we got them at the last second. They were just a... What role did you play? How did you find this guy? How did you uncover this? Were you sexting him? Were you sending him nudes? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of conversations they had. They only released a few of the texts. But something got the guy all hot and bothered. Something gets these people going. And I've constantly wondered that. It brings me back to Tyler Robinson, of course. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this series of openings on Patsy's and potential Patsy's, and Patsy's gone wrong, and Patsy's who audio's in and out. Really? That must be a YouTube thing. It shouldn't be in and out. It should be steady, Eddie. I'll be quiet for 3 seconds. And that might help it. Let me look at Down Detector and see if YouTube's having any trouble. Hold, please. Yeah, a few reports. Nothing crazy, though. There were a lot of reports about an hour ago. So it maybe should be that YouTube's having some trouble. But anyway. My guess is, based on the thing, and I've said this, and this is not the point of my show today. I'm going to go in a completely different direction. But my guess is, just to tie it back in, because I saw people asking, my guess is that Tyler Robinson, Lance Twiggs, and others, that they were busted on a, if I had to guess, how did they end up in the Patsy business? My guess is they were looking at illegal activity online, probably involving minors, if I had to guess. I don't know that. I'm not calling them sexual deviants. I'm not saying they were looking at illegal stuff. I'm just saying, my opinion, guys like that, getting set up, that age, that environment, that crew, the things they were into, probably. If I had to guess, probably. And then you get assigned an FBI agent like Khalil got assigned. And that FBI agent infiltrates your life. And that FBI agent strings you along, and you get more and more involved. That FBI agent might have posed as a child and gotten them to really take explicit acts towards potentially meeting that child, in which case your life is basically over. You might as well go along with this murder plan, because otherwise you're going to you're going to prison for that, and that's not going to end well for you. So that's probably my guess of what happened. But I will develop this theme as we go. I want to take the show in a little bit different direction today, because I have deep concerns after some of the things we've uncovered. And we'll talk about those tonight. But I have very deep concerns about their plans for Erika Kirk. Very deep concerns about the plans for Erika Kirk. And if I'm right, I've got to get really bad cop with Erika Kirk. And it can't be pretty. And we've got to really evaluate her life. And I'll tell you what I mean by all that in just a little bit. But first, I want to go back to a page we keep going back to time and time again, believe it or not, because we have discovered yet even more lies on this page. This is Erika Frantzve's LinkedIn page. This is her education section. You remember last time we were together, or recently, we talked about this line down here in the middle. Arizona State University, this Bachelor of Science, Political Science and International Relations, and we discovered they didn't even have an international relations major at the time. It could not have been a double major. Then we see this claim of summa cum laude here. We realized after we had to call the university and get them to forward us a copy of the program, she was in fact not in the program listed as summa cum laude. Well, Daisy noticed something different She went up here to this Doctor of Education, EDD Christian Leadership. Also, strangely, summa cum laude, as was her Juris Master degree, summa cum laude, as was her 1 year at Loyola Marymount. You can't graduate summa cum laude in 1 year. And this here, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. So, but this was listed on her LinkedIn page. So Daisy looks and says, did she really get a Doctor of Education? Is she Dr. Erika Kirk? Why would she have claimed that? So we instantly set out the way you would try to find if somebody had the degree they claim to have. First thing you do is go and see, is there a portal where we can look and see people who graduated in given years? Well, she said she graduated in the year 2022. Her name was either Frantzve or Kirk, so we can look them up both ways here. This is all the people. No Frantzves in 2022 in Liberty University. So we'll try Kirk. There are some Kirks, but there are no Erika Kirks. There are no Erika Kirks here. They're actually people who graduated with the degree she claimed, this EDD in educational leadership. There's Stacy Amanda Coleman Kirk. No relation, ladies and gentlemen. We're not the same. I'm not related to Stacy Amanda, not that I know of. And then Kirk Dwayne McDonald. There, okay, yeah, no, not there. So then you start to think, well, maybe a different year? Well, trust me, we went all through all the years. There's none there. There's nothing in the Find a Graduate page. So then you start thinking, well, what if the LinkedIn page is fake? What if it's not real? What if it's not really her page? If you slide down the LinkedIn page, there's a weird entry on it. Frankly, it's weird. And it leads me to believe somebody's trying to throw a red herring out. If you zoom in on the Loyola Marymount, it says Bachelor of Arts Underwater Basket Weaving. Well, that's a known fake degree. So is it possible someone's just messing with us and that she never claimed to do this because this isn't actually her page, even though everything else seems to be pretty legitimate, and even though lots of newspapers and magazines have quoted her LinkedIn page? Like if you look in People magazine, they'll say, well, she has a double degree as stated on her LinkedIn page. But, hey, weirder things have happened. Maybe someone put it up and they faked it. Who knows? So we dig deeper. We go farther. We press on. We're not satisfied with just wondering. We want to know the answer. Bad cop. So we go to the archives, the web archives, which is going to take a second to pull up because archive.org is lousy. But we go to the web archives. Here is a web archive from May 12, 2021. I'll pull it up so that you guys can see it as it populates. This is the archive of her page. You can see her there on the right, some rando guy on the left. This is her page. It's erikafrantzve.com/about. And if you go down to the about page, you look at the education. Well, there it is. Liberty University, Doctorate in Education and Christian Leadership. It's right there, plain as day. Says she's got a double major. We've already proven that we don't think that's accurate. In my opinion, that's inaccurate. So that's a lie, I think. I'll hold off on this one for now. But this one, I think we can establish pretty definitively she doesn't have. And I'll show you why I think I can establish that soon. But there it is, May. She's claiming it. She's claiming it in May. Well, when's the last time? Because these pages are archived every so often, right? Every so often, they'll hit they'll come by and they'll scan it and they'll see something. So it was actually archived again in November of 2022. November of 2022, it was archived. There's Erika Frantzve again. There's some rando dude. And then you scroll down. There it is right there. Doctorate of Education and Christian Leadership. It's still there. That's her double major, also Probably inaccurate, still there, but we're not going to focus on that one tonight. We did that one last time. But that's the Doctorate of Education in Christian Leadership. So that's on November 14 of 2022. Or November 4, excuse me, November 4 of 2022. Well, something happened in Erika's life between November 4 of 2022 and December 9 of 2022. I don't know what it is. I've thought about it. I've put a little effort into it. It might be insanely obvious to you people in the audience. You guys might get it. I don't understand what it is. But we saw on November 4 of 2022, we saw the Doctorate in Education, Christian Leadership. That's gone, ladies and gentlemen. No longer is that there. Now we have her website, her personal website has been updated to be the Doctorate in Biblical Studies, current. In other words, I kind of wonder if somebody called her on it, like somebody she knows, like maybe her husband or someone she works with. I'm trying to think of who would call her on that and say, hey, wait a minute, Toots, you don't have an EDD from Liberty University in Christian Leadership. That's not a real thing. You should update your website accordingly. So she put this Doctorate in Biblical Studies up there, and it just says current. I guess that means she's studying for it. And so I go back to the LinkedIn page, and I realize, yes, somebody put underwater basket weaving here. Maybe she did it as an inside joke. I don't know. But you can't tell me she didn't also put that in there. Because that right there matches what she had on her personal website, erikafrantzve.com, for many years. For several years, she claimed to have a Doctor of Education, an EDD in Christian Leadership. And again, when you check the Liberty page, she doesn't show up as a graduate. When you check the LinkedIn page, she claims to have it. When you check her personal page, she used to claim she has it. Now she claims she doesn't have it. Things change. Things change. And so at first I thought, Baron, you're just being petty. Like this is just a petty approach. You're picking at her for claiming to have a degree she doesn't have. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm not picking on her for claiming to have a degree she doesn't have. I'm picking on her for claiming multiple degrees she doesn't have. I'm picking on her for claiming honors she doesn't have. In other words, I'm picking on her for being a deeply dishonest human being about the most basic biographical facts of her life. Because she wants to tell me and tell you and tell the world that we are to believe her when it comes to things like an alibi, where she was on the morning of September 10th, where she was on the day of September 8th and September 9th. We're just supposed to take her word for it. She is, after all, Erika Kirk. Well, I know. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're Erika Kirk. If you weren't Erika Kirk, perhaps I would take your word for it. If you didn't have a documented history of lying about the most mundane things in your life, maybe I would take you at face value. But when every single thing I dig into, you just barely scratch the surface of it and an entire chasm of fraud opens up and we almost practically fall into it, it's like a cartoon. You know, in the old cartoons, they would go out on the cliff and then the cliff would fall out and they would all fall down to the ground. That's what her life feels like. Nothing's real. It's all fiction. It's a completely fake story. And I'll tell you why that bothers me in just a second. I'm not there yet. I don't want to get there yet. Because the next thing I want to do is I want to pull up a video of Miss Erika Kirk promoting her candidacy for Miss USA 2012 or Miss Arizona USA 2012. This is a video of Miss Erika Kirk telling you about her morals and values at this time. Can people change? Sure. But typically when they do, they let you know they've changed. And if you listen to her interviews about her pageant days, she doesn't indicate she's changed at all. So let's just see what it is. Let's just evaluate her, take her at face value. I'm not putting words in her mouth. I'm not trying to derive things out of it, but let's just listen to what she says. There's 3 questions here. Let's listen to her 3 answers.
If I could be great at one thing, I wish that I could sit in front of a mirror or a makeup mirror in general and spend more than...
Quick question. Can you hear it? I have to wait on the delay, but no sound. Yeah, I can't hear it either. Well, let's just read it. I'll read it out loud. Oh, you guys say you can hear it. Some of you can hear. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to kill the sound to it, and I'll just read it because I think it's important. I would love you to hear it in her voice. Maybe I'll link it in the description. Actually, you know what I can do? Let me try to play it on a different medium. I've got a backup copy. Let me do this. This is from Based Sam Parker's account. He has this version. So let me see if this one plays better. I wasn't sure how that version would play, so I got a backup. I'll share this one and see if it makes it. If not, I'll just read it.
I have respect for the individuals that are in the photography industry, not because they're degrading women or anything like that, but because that's their field and they are professionals. So I give them credit for being able to have a job and make money and stimulate.
I don't think you guys can hear it, so I'm just going to read it. I'm going to kill the sound and just read it. This is Erika's words when asked a question. These are her words, not mine. I'll just read it as it comes up. I have respect for the individuals that are in the pornography industry, not because they're degrading women or anything like that, but because that's their field and they are professionals. So I give them credit for being able to have a job and make money and stimulate the economy that way. But I think that there needs to be a way to shield it from the overall public, such as the kids. Keep it away from them. But in general, if that's a tough one, hold on. I looked away and then she got past me. That's a tough one. I really have to say that we live in a free country. So if you want to watch it, turn on your pay-per-view. If not, then why don't you turn on something else a little bit more G-rated? Just a thought. Now that is on pornography. That's her position in 2012. I don't know if that remains her position today, but she's never been pro-porn that I'm aware of in her current iteration. Now, what about pro-marijuana? I do think it should be legalized. So just take this miniature journey with me for just a second. And instead of looking at the negative side, let's look at the positive side real quick. After watching several documentaries, that's her source. She watched several documentaries, but whatever. After watching several documentaries, I do think it should be legalized because it not only has some remedies to some modern day medicines that we use, but it also can be taxed. So we can get some extra stimulus money. Just a thought. And on top of that, I think that as our country is evolving and things are pending, things are happening. Things are happening around the world. We really need to start taking into consideration just some alternatives to things. So I think we need to see both sides of this. So I open dialogue. I'm all for it. It's a different side of her. And again, I'm leading up to a point where I'm going to explain to you why all this is bothering me today, why I'm bad copying it today. Because I'm bothered by this. I've got a little bit of an issue with this right now. And when I get there, you'll go, oh, okay, that's why he's mad. Here is the first reason I'm bothered by it. On September 22nd, less than 2 weeks after Charlie Kirk had been taken from us, the national treasure, taken down in his prime, 31 years old, father of 2. Less than 2 weeks after that ordeal, the day after his memorial on September 21st, our beloved Tyler Boyer, not a creepy guy at all, takes to Newsmax to have an interview. And here is how Tyler Boyer described Erika Kirk. Pay close attention to what they were trying to set up on us.
Do you see politics in her future down the road?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I had conversations with Charlie about that. So he was like, man, Erika could be so much bigger and better than me at almost everything. And we laugh all the time about it because people were like, Charlie was going to be president someday. He believed firmly that Erika was going to be president someday.
Is there a single one of you who believes Charlie Kirk said that? That he believed firmly Erika Kirk was going to be president someday? Is there a single person on the planet who looks at that and says, yeah, that makes sense? That's how I see it. I believe Charlie was sitting around all day long. He was running his multi-million-dollar, $100 million organization. Now, he was asking his wife, please stay home with the kids. Don't get too carried away with your work life. Raise the kids, make that your priority. But in the meantime, he believed firmly he was going to be president one day, or could do better than him at being president one day. Well, that was September 22nd of 2025. That was 12 days after he was taken out. That was one day after Charlie Kirk's funeral. Now, I mentioned that was on Newsmax. This next clip is on News Nation. If you were with us Thursday for our part 2 of the Hunter Kozak series, we kind of outlined News Nation's importance in setting the narrative. That was an organization that continually, time after time after time again, all these same actors would run out in front of News Nation cameras and give the narrative. Charlie was shot. This is a religious thing, or this is a conservative versus Democrat thing. He was killed by a leftist. It was a gunshot. He was killed by a leftist. It was a leftist gunshot. It was a gunshot that came from the left. So then, just a couple days after that September 22nd appearance, this is September 24th. September 24th. Again, I cannot emphasize the rapidity with which this happened after he was killed. He was taken out on September 10th. He had his giant memorial service where they sold a lot of merch on September 21st. The following day, Tyler Boyer wears his Same in God We Trust hat, and he goes on Newsmax. And on Newsmax, he says Charlie believed Erika could be president. And then he runs to News Nation just 2 days later. Just 2 days later, and he has this to say to News Nation.
Some of your colleagues from Turning Point on in the last few days, some of them have told me that Charlie always joked if something terrible happened, he wanted Erika to be his successor. What differences do you see between the leadership of Charlie and when Erika does take over officially?
So a couple things. First, I just want to point out from her comment. She believed that Charlie's colleagues were joking when Charlie said, when they told her Charlie would say Erika would take over. I'll go back to it. It sounded like the setup was Charlie's colleagues said Charlie would joke that Erika would take over. Listen again.
We've had some of your colleagues from Turning Point on in the last few days. Some of them have told me that Charlie always joked if something terrible happened, he wanted Erika to be his successor. What differences do you see between the leadership of Charlie and when Erika does take over officially?
Yeah, I mean, Erika's already there. Erika and Charlie are one. Charlie is one with Erika. So it's such a natural fit. He had always looked up to Erika. He had always boosted Erika. Everyone always said Charlie would be president. Charlie always said that Erika would be president. So, we have the person that Charlie believed in and loved the most in this world as leader, and nothing here organizationally and operationally changes. And so we're really excited to keep doing the work. We know Erika is going to be the best carrier of Charlie's spirit and his legacy. And that is going to be something I think that will reach all the ends of the earth.
People would always say that Charlie would be president one day. Charlie always said Erika would be president one day. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. And I think anyone who will look in the camera and tell that lie twice in 2 days, I think will lie to you about anything. I think they'll lie to you about where people were on September 10th. I think they'll lie to you about where people were on September 8th and 9th. I think they'll lie to you about who was involved. I think they'll lie to you about how he passed away. I think they'll lie to you about the cause of him passing away. I think they'll lie to you about what they're doing as an organization, what kind of things they're getting involved with. I think these people will lie to you about anything. I don't believe it for a second that Charlie said that. Not for a second. And I don't think anybody else believes it either. I've yet to come across a single person that says, yeah, that makes sense. Even supporters of hers that I've talked to. Even supporters. I said, do you believe Charlie said that? No, I don't believe Charlie said that. Nobody believes it. But they were saying it, and they were more than saying it, ladies and gentlemen. They were more than saying it. I want to show you a website that's been put up. And then we'll talk about when this website was put up. But here is a website that is currently on the interwebs. This website exists, VanceKirk2028.com. And you might think, well, it's March 8th. Vance Kirk 2028. I mean, she's been in charge of Turning Point now for months. They seem to be raising a lot of money. Maybe someone's just getting out and reserving this name just on the off chance it happens. She did say they were going to do everything they could to get J.D. Vance elected president in 2028. She did say that. And so maybe there's some offhanded, maybe there's a deal where Erika Kirk would be on the ticket. Or you could argue and say, well, it's possible we've just discovered this page in March of 2026, but this page has actually been around a long time. This probably went back when Charlie was still alive, and he was the natural pick potentially to be the vice president, even though he would have barely qualified for vice president. He was 31 when he passed away. He turned 32, or he would have turned 32 a couple of weeks later. In 2028, when the election day rolled around, he would have only been qualified to be president of the United States. And you have to be qualified to be president to be vice president. He would have only been qualified to be president of the United States for 1 month, less than 1 month. He would have only been 35 in 1 month. So maybe they put this website up when Charlie was still around, or maybe they've just recently put it up. Well, I'm going to tell you, we can answer exactly when this website was purchased. We can tell you when this website was created. And the date will shock you. The date will shock you. My dog's about to bark. I hear her grumbling in the microphone. Here is when the website was created. You see this down here? This is the created date. This website was created on September 13th, 2025. September 13th, 2025 at 2 a.m. Universal Time, known as Zulu Time. If you do the math, that equals 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. West Coast Time, on September 12th, 2025. September 12th, 2025. Somebody finds out Charlie Kirk has been taken out on the afternoon of September 10th. And then on the evening, about 50 hours later, 52 hours later, maybe 57 hours later, 55 hours later, body's still very much cooling down. Someone goes out and buys VanceKirk2028.com. Now, I want you to transport your mind back to September 12th of 2025. We're just now seeing the first images of the alleged Tyler Robinson walking around. We're just seeing the Ring doorbell footage. We're just seeing the footage where he leapt off of the Losi Center. Nobody knows who Erika Kirk is. She has just given her first speech where anyone even learned her name. And that was where she was dressed all in white, standing behind Charlie's chair or next to Charlie's chair in his studio. And somebody ran out and bought this website. Now, here's what we can't do. We can't say who bought it. We don't know who bought it. But was anyone on earth under the impression at that moment that Erika Kirk's profile would be elevated to such a high level as to seriously be considered for vice president of the United States? Was there anybody who thought that at that moment? Like when you watched that widow speech or whatever it was, when you watched that, was there any part of you who thought to yourself, this girl's got the chops to be vice president? She could be president one day. She could be one heartbeat away from the presidency. That's how powerful she is. That's how good that speech was. That's the only speech we'd ever seen her make. That's the only speech we'd seen her make at that point. I can show you the last time this website was modified was September 13th. So basically it went up and has not changed since. The last time it was modified right here, 2025-9/13. I don't know if that's Zulu time, that it was never modified at all. But that website's been sitting there since. It's active. You can click on it. And here's the key. There's a pay portal built into the website. If you look at the site map, there's a pay portal, a donation portal built into the website. Meaning, whoever put this website up intended it to one day take donations. That's not somebody just reserving a website, I don't think. Like, I have websites reserved. You can go to realbaronpodcast.com right now. There's nothing on it. I just have it reserved. I didn't want someone else to buy it. So if you go to realbaronpodcast.com, there's no pay portal on it. I didn't build a pay portal into it. I wouldn't build a pay portal into it because I have no intentions of taking donations on it. And so it's just a weird data point. But I would have you know that at the time that website was purchased, the board had to seriously be considering her as the successor to Charlie Kirk. Because they would make that appointment, I think 3 days later, publicly, which means they were already talking about, what are we doing? Who's going to take over? Is it going to be Tyler Boyer? Is it going to be Lori Frantzve? Is it going to be, I think I heard Benny Johnson's name thrown around, Ben Shapiro's name thrown around. Who are we going to put in charge of Turning Point? They settled on Erika Kirk a couple of days later. But somebody was way out in front of this. Somebody was way out in front of this. Now, I want to switch gears ever so slightly. I want to switch gears and I want to go to Central America now. I have a report here on corporate social responsibility, on this word here. I don't want to necessarily say this phrase and let YouTube tag it, but the misuse of young people in Costa Rica. The misuse of young people in Costa Rica. And I will skip ahead. So this is a dissertation, I guess. And you've got the table of contents here, and you got this story. And this person opens with a story about how they came to want to study this particular topic in Costa Rica. So this is 54-year-old Eliza, an American, started a safe house in Costa Rica for misused children, eager to tell her story. And here's the story right here. So I took my children on a vacation to Costa Rica. And when we were in Jaco, this is the name of a city in Costa Rica, Jaco, Costa Rica, which is a beach town, we were surrounded by a lot of women selling themselves for value and drugs. Jaco is a hot spot for sexual tourism. It was all around us. We couldn't get away from it. When we returned to the United States, I began to study human transportationing. I'd never really been approached by it or seen much of it. But when she was in Jaco, she couldn't get away from it. She was surrounded by it. It was everywhere. And I read this story and I think, and this was November of 2015. This is a while ago. And I start looking at that and I think, where have I heard the name Jaco before? I remember now where I heard Jaco. In fact, just because transportationing of minors seems to be such a hot topic everywhere you turn relative to the people involved in this story we've been covering. Here is a post from Travis on Twitter, @NiloX. Breaking, Erika Frantzve had another charity helping children. You guys want to guess where it was? Anybody want to guess where this charity was that was helping children? We know she had one charity in Constanta, Romania, the trafficking capital of Europe on the Black Sea. We know that she had a charity there, weirdly. Didn't have one in Houston, didn't have one in Phoenix, didn't have one in Chicago, didn't have one in Indianapolis, but she had one in Constanta. This time her philanthropy would appear in Jaco, Costa Rica, under the name Kids First. Wow, weird. It's weird. It's like everywhere she sets up shop, this seems to be a recurring theme. Romania, Costa Rica, not just any Costa Rican city, Jaco, Costa Rica. Everyday, like this is a headline from the website entry. Everyday Heroes Like You has teamed up with Kids First to help address the need to create a safe environment for at-risk youth in Jaco, Costa Rica. And if you go back on the Internet Archives and you zoom in here, this is the everydayheroeslikeyou.com website. There's a /Kids First. It was only active for a year or two, 2019, 2020, and early part of 2021. July of 2019 to July of 2021, so 2 years. It was only active for those 2 years. But this is the mission, Jaco, Costa Rica. Everyday Heroes Like You has teamed up with Kids First to help address the need to create a safe environment for the at-risk youth in Jaco, Costa Rica. The Kids First organization helps children stay off the streets where they're exposed to drugs and crime, giving them an environment to learn and grow. Our challenge? Too many children in our community are raised by single mothers working 6 days a week who cannot afford daycare. Left unsupervised so many hours a day, these children are high risk, especially after school, weekends, and during summer vacation. Kids First programs help children reach their full potential. So that was a website that was up, and here's some more of it. The core objectives: inspire and empower the leaders of tomorrow, richer and more fulfilling lives, provide a safe environment. Why is it everywhere she goes, this is the environment? I'm confused by it. It's almost intentional. Not like they were in San Jose, Costa Rica. Not like they were in Mexico. Not like they were in Nicaragua or Panama. Not like they were in El Salvador. They were in Jaco, Costa Rica, which is a total hotbed for this stuff. And I look at this and I think, at some point, you have to begin to accept the reality that there are far too many coincidences that add up in this woman's case and the people around her. There are far too many coincidences that add up. It's beginning to look like there's a pattern that exists for a reason. You know, they say stereotypes exist for a reason. Like I'm sure there's some really nice tigers in the world, right? But you don't go throw yourself in a tiger cage at the zoo because tigers have a bad reputation for tearing your face off and eating you. This pattern exists. And at a certain point, you can draw conclusions from it. Notice this is not on her list of anything she ever talks about. She talks about her work in China. She talks about her work in Costa Rica. She talks about her work in Puerto Rico. She fails to mention she was in Puerto Rico and China to shack up with a ball player, but that's irrelevant. She talks about him at least. At least she mentions them. Never mentions Costa Rica. Never mentions Jaco, Costa Rica. Well, if you look at the news reports, it becomes very obvious because they had like a 5-year run where they were arresting anybody who wiggled in Jaco, Costa Rica. They started cracking down on this stuff about the time they got out of there. And it's again, if she was an honest person, I would take her word for it. Like if I didn't have her lying about her like something as fundamental and basic and easily disprovable as your academic credentials, then you might say, well, I was there in Jaco doing good stuff with kids. I wasn't there exploiting anybody. I was in Constanta, Romania doing good stuff with kids. We weren't there exploiting anybody. Yeah, a lot of people exploit kids over there, but we didn't. Yeah, a lot of people exploit kids in Costa Rica. Not us. Not us. That's not what we were doing. I'm very weirded out by the fact that all of the charity work seems to be overseas in hotbeds of this type of environment. That's all I'm saying. And I'm the weirding out is compounded by the fact that she's a deeply dishonest, fundamentally dishonest human being, almost congenitally dishonest, because the dishonesty goes back so far. I can't find anything where she's not dishonest about. Now, I want to switch gears again, because this is going to tie into more dishonesty out of TPUSA. This next story, believe it or not, is going to tie into even more dishonesty out of TPUSA. This is a weird story. It's making its way on Twitter. I can't credit anybody because I saw it like 400 times today. World War III bunker manufacturer. There's a guy who makes bunkers for rich people for World War III. Nuclear Holocaust bunkers. They survive missile attacks. They survive nuclear attacks. This guy, this is what he does. His name is Ron Hubbard. Not L. Ron Hubbard. I don't know if they're related. Not the guy who started Scientology. Maybe he's related. I don't know, but it's not the same guy. This is Ron Hubbard, not L. Ron Hubbard. War for most people brings confusion. The article states. This is the Telegraph overseas. It's amazing how the American press never reports on stuff like this. War for most people brings confusion, fear, and destruction. But for Ron Hubbard, it brings something else altogether, opportunity. What does he do? He builds bunkers designed to help customers survive drone attacks, ballistic missile strikes, or even nuclear Armageddon. That's his job. And as of the last week or so, after the U.S. and Iran started spatting, business has never been better for his company. Now, you might think, well, these are just rich people. They don't know anything. These aren't connected. These people have no idea what's going on in the world. Well, let's read the next sentence here. Next two sentences. I've been inundated with calls, says Hubbard. Inquiries gone up tenfold since the war broke out Saturday. Who are these people calling him? Hubbard claims 2 senior cabinet members in the Trump administration are among his clients. One of them, meaning one of the senior cabinet members in the Trump administration who are among his clients building a nuclear Holocaust bomb shelter, are asking him, when will his bunker be ready? One of the Trump senior cabinet administration officials is asking, when is my nuclear Holocaust bunker going to be ready? When do I have the ability to survive nuclear? Well, what do they know that we don't? Keep in mind, these are the people who trade on inside information, congressmen, cabinet officials, and they get a bunch of money out of it. Like if you follow their trades, you'll get rich. And it's worth noting if you wanted to so inquire, it's worth noting that this war, we had a warning. There was somebody out there. There was a voice in the wilderness telling us how stupid this would be. There was someone on earth who said, you know, if you go to war with Iran, you might need a nuclear holocaust bunker. It might not go as well as you think. It's the type of thing that could get spiral out of control really fast. You might recognize the young man. Here he is. This was the guy. This was the guy telling you this was a terrible idea. I will let him do it. I'm not going to summarize what he said here. I'm going to play a minute or so of this and let him tell you what he thought about a potential regime change war with Iran.
Let's do some updates about Israel and Iran and potentially the United States. On one side is the Lindsey Graham, John Bolton types, where they are actively calling for regime change. Here is Lindsey Graham. This is just lunacy. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. It's time for us to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen and start a new chapter in the Middle East. And that sounds good, doesn't it? But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia, but also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. So I'm pointing to the first extreme right now, the neoconservative extreme. We must go take off the head of the snake right now. Play cut 285.
Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better?
That's what we're hearing today. Isn't the world going to be better once we get these people out of the way? Well, they're out of the way. They've all been taken out. The top 50 or so people in the Iranian government are gone. They've gone to meet their maker. And even so, we have senior Trump cabinet officials calling a nuclear bunker guy and saying, is my bunker ready yet? It sounds like things might not be going as well as we're being told, if I'm being honest. Like, that's usually a bad sign. The cabinet officials sit in the cabinet. They sit in the meetings. They have one-on-one conversations with the president of the United States. They walk out of those meetings. They pick up their phone and they call the bunker guy. Yeah, bunker guy? Yeah, hey, this is senior Trump cabinet official. Yeah, it's me. It's me again. I know I called a few days ago. Hey, the bunker, is it done yet? Oh, no, the bunker takes longer than a couple of days. I may not have much longer. We really need the bunker. Yeah, I know my house is in the United States. That's a little weird, right? Yeah. Could you expedite the nuclear bunker? I can't tell you why. I mean, I'm just want to be safe. That's all. Yeah. Great. I appreciate that. Yeah, get it on double time. I'll pay you double. Just get it in the ground and get it in the ground now. I can't tell you why. Got to go. Bye. Now let's hear what he had to say in response.
Wouldn't Iran be better off? It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
Okay, that sounds good, but that's pathologically insane. I'm sorry, it is.
pathologically insane regime change wars in Iran. Pathologically insane. You know, with a guy like this out there in charge of $1 billion ground game operation that's in charge of trying to get people elected, that has the hearts and minds of millions of young people around the country, a guy who's calling regime change in Iran pathologically insane, he could be a problem if we had to take out Iran. If we wanted to do a regime change war in Iran, a guy like that might be a real burden. He might be a thorn in our flesh. We might have to excise him. We might have to get rid of a guy like that.
How do you know it's going to be better? Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful, but maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war. Lindsey Graham is so consistently out of his mind, it's hard to even comprehend. Iran is hugely diverse. It is a massive country. Do the people agitating for war even know that? Because be clear, regime change is war. Just to understand, regime change is not like changing the head coach at the Chicago Bears. It's not how it works. It's not like a clean transfer. Typically in the Mideast, it's very messy, creates a quagmire, and then there is civil war. Do you understand how large Iran is? It's massive. It's a very big country. It's mountainous. It makes Afghanistan and Iraq look like a cakewalk. Just look at this beast of a country with all the different regions, all the different dialects, if we could put that up on screen. And then you have a major refugee concern of Mohammedans that will come to Europe and endanger more Christians and Jews, and Mohammedans that will come to America.
Now, let me just go on the record. I haven't seen the word Mohammedan since like the 19th century in literature. But I digress. Are you getting the picture of the problem Charlie Kirk posed by his mere existence? Are you getting the idea that Charlie Kirk being alive would have been a significant impediment in the lead up to the war in Iran that kicked off, 9 or 10 days ago? And would continue to be an impediment day in and day out as it dragged on and turned into what he described as a quagmire. He said Afghanistan and Iraq would look like a cakewalk. Well, does anyone feel like those went like cakewalks? We went into Afghanistan to remove the Taliban. We spent 21 years there. And when we left, guess who was in charge? Guess who's still in charge? Yes. Good job, class. You said it all. The Taliban. That's right. Meaning, perhaps, what we were told as Americans, that the Taliban was oppressive and all the people hated the Taliban and they didn't want to be ruled by the Taliban. And if someone would just remove them, the people would rise up and they would rule the country peacefully. Well, we fought for 20 years. We destroyed nearly everything in sight. And the Taliban is still in charge. That's who is in charge in Afghanistan today. That's who rules Afghanistan today. It might lead one to believe that perhaps the locals weren't as against the Taliban as we're led to believe. I go back to the summer of 2020. You remember the summer of 2020? Donald Trump is campaigning for re-election. There's an autonomous zone, the CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, that's been set up in Seattle. A protest, if you will. There were Black Lives Matter protests destroying things all over the country. There were women's marches. There was this tremendous groundswell from the left. And if you were an outsider looking in, you might be able to build a very strong case to your people back home that this country hates their leader. They don't want him. Well, he went out and got like 80-something million votes. Lost the election, but he got 80-something million votes. And there's a good argument that the election might not have been even Steven, right? Someone might have had their thumb on the scale. And then 4 years later, he won election. He's back in office. The guy that they were all protesting, that they were pushing back against, that everybody hated, as evidenced by the marches, the hundreds of thousands, the millions of people marching on the weekends, marching during the week, tearing up the city. And he goes and gets elected again. It's almost as if the United States wanted to be ruled by that guy, despite the protests. Maybe in spite of the protest. Maybe because of the protest. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I look at those people and think those guys are nuts. Who are they protesting? I'll vote for that guy. And there was an element of that. Now, maybe we realized we didn't get what we bargained for. Maybe a lot of us may regret our vote, but we voted for him. A lot of us did. More than voted for the other girl. Of course, they put up a mentally challenged drunk on the other side, but could have voted for her. You didn't have to vote for him. But that's Charlie Kirk on regime change wars. Pathologically insane. Not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. Might need to call the nuclear bunker guy. Might need to call the nuclear bunker guy. That's like a thing. There are Trump cabinet level officials. We could pull up Trump's cabinet, and two of them are calling the nuclear bunker guy. We don't know which two. Is it Pam Bondi? Is it Pete Hegseth? Is it Marco Rubio? We don't know. Is it Scott Bissett? But I'm talking like names you've heard of. They're calling the nuclear bunker guy. That's their confidence in what's going on in Iran. You're told to calm down. Everything's fine. We got it under control. They're calling the nuclear bunker guy. I mean, I cannot emphasize that enough. That's a problem. That's a real problem. But I bring it up not to point out that the war is a quagmire already. I think it kind of is becoming one, but that's not the point. You know, we were sold on regime change after we were sold initially on we just need to limit their ability to do nuclear strikes. We don't want them building a bomb, so we launch Operation Midnight Hammer this summer. Charlie tries to talk the president out of joining that strike, by the way. He did it anyway. But afterwards, they were told, hey, success. We set their nuclear program back years. We destroyed it all. It'll take them a long time to get that set back up. The world's a safer place today. Well, a few months later, they're like, well, but we need to do regime change. They still got a Navy. Well, but we weren't sold on destroying their Navy. We were sold on destroying their nuclear weapons. Where did this Navy thing come from? So we destroy their nuclear weapons in June or July. Can't make nuclear weapons. But they come back to us and say, we have to destroy the entire rest of the regime. We have to take them out. We have to remove them, the regime. We have to get rid of them. Okay? And now we're told they're bombing police stations, bridges, oil refineries. Well, when was that part of the deal? When did they tell us that it was necessary to destroy all their civilian infrastructure that people rely on to get to the hospital, to get to school? When were we sold on that? But anyway, I digress. The point is, Charlie would have been a real pain in the neck. He would have been a real problem when it comes to the regime change war. So now I want to answer the weird question we've all been asking. Why are they still using Charlie Kirk's name on the podcast? It's weird. It's a little. Why are they still using Charlie Kirk's name on the podcast? Well, we'll get to that. But before we play that clip, I want to play one small clip of these guys, Blake Neff Speed and Andrew Colvin, trying to convince us this actually isn't a regime change war, despite what your lying eyes and ears may be seeing.
But the point is, the ultimate secession plan remains pretty unclear at this point. It seems to be there was an indication from President Trump where he was saying, we'll see who they choose, meaning it does seem that this is not a regime change war. I understand that can feel like, you know, a distinction without a difference, right? Because, yeah, the regime is going to change. These are targeted airstrikes to take out the leadership and allow the people of Iran to choose the next leader. And so we don't know how that's going to play out.
So the guy sitting in Charlie Kirk's studio with Charlie Kirk's name on the screen 3 times on the Chiron, Charlie Kirk Show, freedom@charliekirk.com, over here's a logo for the Charlie Kirk Show, is going to tell you, well, I know that everybody's saying it's a regime change war, and I know we've killed all the top leadership, thereby changing the regime, but this isn't really a regime change war. Come on. Well, why would they say that? Because they know there's this clip circulating where Charlie Kirk is telling everybody that a regime change war is pathologically insane. It's a pathologically insane position. Now listen to this. We get to finally answer the question why they're keeping Charlie Kirk's name on the show. And what would Charlie have said about this? Now, we heard his clip earlier where he said it's pathologically insane. It never works out like you think. It's going to be a quagmire. Iraq and Afghanistan would be a cakewalk compared to Iran. If you think you're going to go in there in a week and flip the country over, you're out of your mind. We've already had that clip. We know that's happened. Here's how they describe what Charlie would say, even though we know what he already said.
That's really what it is there would be two competing impulses with Charlie. And the reason we cite him, a big reason we continue this show, a big reason it still has his name on there is people looked to Charlie as a leader, as a leader in the movement, as a person who had wise perspectives, as a person who wasn't under the control of anyone else. And so he could be frank, he could be honest about things. And so
yeah, he was frank and honest. He said that going to war in Iran would be a quagmire. It would be a disaster. It would be pathologically insane. He told us his opinion. I have a feeling that's why he's no longer among the living. That's my guess. Because he was willing to speak his mind, because he was willing to tell his honest opinion, he had to be removed. Now, you'll notice that that motive eliminates Tyler Robinson as a suspect, but that's neither here nor there.
So we're trying to maintain that voice to the best we can so that people, because that's what people are looking towards. And what I can say, and I think you agree, is Charlie would have two competing impulses. One is he was a millennial. He was a part of that generation, very shaped by Iraq and Afghanistan, two wars that looked very easy at the start, but went on a lot longer than people thought, were more expensive than people thought they would be, and ended in ultimately either failure or at best mixed results in the case of Iraq.
Mixed results in the case of Iraq. Go back to 2001, 2, and 3 and ask yourself, if George Bush had come to you and said, look, 9/11 happened, we've got to do something. What we've decided to do is we're going to attack Iraq. But fear not, we'll only be there 20 years. We'll only be in, we got to attack Afghanistan, excuse me. We got to attack Afghanistan. We'll only be there 20 years. And when we get done, the same people will be in charge that are in charge today. That just happens. You know, hey, can't be perfect. We're probably going to lose in the neighborhood of 5,000 to 10,000 American lives in this 20-year war. It'll probably cost in the trillions of dollars. We know that's a lot of money. We understand what that sounds like, but trust me, we'll just borrow it from China. We'll borrow it from other countries. So don't worry about the details. Just focus on the fact that because our buildings were knocked down, we're going to go into a 20-year war that's going to kill multiple times more people, more American lives than we lost on that day. But it'll be worth it. Because when we get done, we'll make sure the same people in charge today are in charge then. How many of you would have gone along with that plan? How many of you would have been like, yeah, let's do it, George. We good, baller. Let's go. That sounds like a plan, W. I'll put a W sticker on my car. W, the president. I'll put that sticker on my car. My pickup truck. At best, mixed results in Iraq. Who's in charge of Iraq right now? Well, you know who controls large areas of Iraq? Iran. Iran controls large areas of Iraq. The same Iran we're going to war with now. In the intermediate time, we had ISIS in control of large areas of Iraq. Syria controlled large portions of Iraq at one point. That's why they can't be honest with you. That's why they can't be honest with you. But it's one step further than that. Because Donald Trump can't get on the television and say, we've decided to go to war with Iran. It's going to take a decade, maybe two. It's going to require thousands, hundreds of thousands of American troops on the ground. Probably going to lose 5, 10, maybe 20,000 American lives over there. Probably going to destroy their entire country. All their infrastructure, all their beautiful ancient buildings are probably going to be reduced to rubble. We'll probably kill in the neighborhood of 1 to 3 million Iranians just because that's how war is. You know, war sucks. There'll be a flood of refugees. We'll get Iranian refugees that go out in every direction and just overwhelm other countries, their critical infrastructure, their hospitals, their schools. And you can't blame them. These people just want to live. They don't want to be vaporized like is happening with the people who stayed behind. I mean, I can't blame them for that. You can't blame anyone who left Afghanistan. You can't blame anyone who left Iraq. You can't blame anyone who left Syria. They were dying. We were bombing them. You can't blame someone if your country's being obliterated. You can't blame them for saying, maybe we'll go to Germany. They don't seem to obliterate Germany very well. Not in the last 75 years have they obliterated. You can't blame these people. But that is the inevitable result. And if Donald Trump or Marco Rubio or Pete Hegseth got on television and was honest with, if any of them were honest with you, if they said, listen, this is going to be, we're going to tell you it's going to be quick, but it's not going to be quick. It's probably going to devolve. Probably going to result in the loss of infrastructure for a lot of regional countries around there. UAE, Qatar, Oman, Jordan. These people are going to get hit hard. They're going to lose their salination plants, their desalination plants. They're going to lose oil infrastructure. Global shipping lanes are going to be shut down. Oil prices are going to explode. Airliners are going to be crushed. The average middle-class family is going to experience a fuel increase. It's going to feel a lot like a tax hike. Because a gas price increase is basically a tax hike. I mean, if gas prices go from $3 to $6 a gallon, but you have to drive 45 miles round trip to work, it's a tax hike. Like it takes money that you otherwise would spend on milk and bread. It takes that money away from you. It causes you financial harm. But if they came to you and told you all this, you would not support it. You would revolt. In Charlie, there was a single human being, probably with more influence over people under the age of 35 than anyone else in America. And that single human being with all that influence was telling you the truth. He was telling you the truth. This would be a pathologically insane proposition. If you go to war in Iran, you will regret it. Not going to be easy, champ. It's not going to go well. There'll be a lot of refugees. There'll be a lot of death and destruction. And in the end, you may not get a regime change at all. They may walk out of there 10, 20, 30 years later with the same people in charge. We don't know. And so he had to go. And so he had to go. I want to play just a few more seconds of this.
And that would have shaped his attitude towards this. You can say, we agree. He repeatedly said he thought regime change in Iran was a bad idea. The competing impulse there is he was a supporter of President Trump and President Trump's judgment in international affairs. And he was also an American patriot. And so this war having started, his take would similarly be, I was very hesitant for this, but I also do trust the president's judgment that he must have good reasons for this and that he would have a plan to keep this from extending endlessly and escalating out of control.
Well,
Blake is lying to you. Blake is lying to you. He's just lying to your face. With Charlie's name on the Chiron in 3 different places, he's looking you in the eye and he's saying, Charlie would have been for this. He might have privately been opposed to it. He might have believed it was going to be a really terrible idea. He might have believed it was going to be a problem. But ultimately, he's a patriot. He would have come around. Now, let me say this. I like to think I'm a patriot. I like to think I'm going to come around. But the difference is, and I think Charlie would have been this way. I don't know. I don't want to put words in a dead man's mouth. This is just my gut. I was very opposed to the strikes in Iran, very opposed, but they've happened. A lot of people have already died. Thousands of people on their side, at least 6 American service members on our side, not to mention people around the Middle East that are getting hit, Qatar, Jordan, UAE, other places, Azerbaijan. Other people are getting hit. They're knocking out missile sites. They're knocking out intelligence sites. They're knocking out civilian infrastructure. But I don't want to lose. But I would much rather the victory be Pyrrhic or quick or even false. Declare victory and get the hell out of there. We came to do a regime change. We heard Israel was going to do a regime change. The guy that was in charge is no longer alive. He's necessarily changed. We're getting out now. And we're not getting back in. And whatever they do, however they recoalesce, however they come back together, however they reconstitute their government, that's them. We'll deal with them. And if they become a threat, then we'll figure it out down the road. But they will coalesce and they'll reconstitute a government knowing what happens if you remain adverse to us. That's the best option you've got yet left. That's the best option that's still on the table. Just get out. Get out. And on your way out, throw up. I'm sure they still have it. It's got to be in a closet somewhere. Somewhere in the U.S. military, the Department of now War, not Defense, which frankly is more accurate. The Department of Offense, somewhere in the Pentagon has to be George Bush's mission accomplished banner. It has to exist. They didn't throw it away. It's history. Is it at the Smithsonian? But let's go get it. Let's put it up for ironic purposes. We'll do it in a very hipster fashion, but we'll put it up on the White House lawn. We'll recreate the scene. But Trump's 80. He doesn't need to be flying around on a fighter jet. So we're not going to land him on a carrier like George W. Bush did. We're not going to have him mosey up like he's in Top Gun and in fatigues. But let's just have him walk out in his signature extra long tie, stand under the mission accomplished banner, hold up peace signs on each hand, just like Tricky Dick did. I'm not a crook. We'll have Donald Trump hold up the peace signs and go, we won the war. Peace. Peace is ours. Mission accomplished. I don't care how you do it. Just get out. Get out. This is not going to end well. It's not going to go well. It's not going to end well. But that's why Charlie's not with us. I'm convinced. I'm 100% convinced at this point. I was only half convinced until the war started. But now that the war started, I'm pretty confident that's why he's gone. Because he would have been a real problem. He would have been a real problem. Because everything they're saying he would have said or done assumes he never sent that text on September 9th that said, I'm left with no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Once he sends that text, he is a total liability on the Iran war. A total liability. Because that's the only reason we're there. There's no American interest in this. There's no, oh, but Baron, we're going to change Chinese oil prices. That's what we're doing. That's why we're there. We're there because the Iranians were selling oil to China. That's not why we're there. That's not why we're there. We're there because our greatest ally wants us to be there. They were going to war. They were going to cause problems. And I don't know what kind of dossier they have on Trump, but for whatever reason, they're able to drag him into anything they want. I don't know if the TT dossier is real or what. I don't know at this point. But that's why we're there. That is why we're there. But there's no TT dossier on Charlie. There's no Russian hookers peeing on him. That doesn't exist. And so he can confidently send the text, I am left with no choice but to leave the cause. Send. But I'm an American. I know 30% of the audience is from overseas. I get it. I see the stats. I see you guys. But I'm an American. I don't want to lose wars. I don't want Americans hurt. I don't want other people hurt, frankly. I don't like war. You guys should know that by now. If you watch regularly, you know I hate war, detest it, despise it. But we're there, so let's get out. Declare victory and let's get out. But that's why he's gone. That's why he's gone. You will never, ever, ever convince me otherwise at this point. That is 100% why he's gone. There was a time when I might have bucked a little bit on that. I might have just a little bit wondered if there was some other reason. Some real estate deal that maybe he didn't want to get involved in and they all thought, oh, we were going to be billionaires. Nah, I don't think it's that anymore. I think it's the war of the last 9 days. That's what I think happened. That's what I think. All right, now for the part that drives Gary crazy. Gary's mad. I get it. He's mad. I do thank Gary for pointing out I took a pay cut to do this full time. But Gary's mad because I entertain Q&A session at the end of the show. He thinks the show should be shorter so that we're less effective here. We don't develop a good community and we don't have any fun. But I'm sorry. We're not going to do that. On Saturday in Discord, we had a dog photo parade. Would be honored if Miss Tilly joined the puppy party next Saturday. I've had Tilly on air. Have you guys not met? I've had her on air. Warlock. I could bring her back on air. Let me see if I can find her real quick. That would be fun. She's coming in. She's coming in. We'll bring Tilly on air. She's more popular than I am. Ah, here she comes. I hear her come. Come on, Tilly. Come on. I don't know if she'll jump up here. She's too well behaved. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up here. Come up here. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to come all the way up. Come on. She won't come up. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know you're a good girl. You don't. Look, there she is. That's the good girl right there. Look at you. Yeah, she didn't want to come up because she's a good one. She's a good one. All right, go. Head out. All right, thank you. That's Tilly, ladies and gentlemen. That's Tilly. It's hard to get her to jump up because I've trained her not to jump up. She's looking at me like, why do you want me to jump up? I'm a good girl. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Shabbat shalom. Daddy's home. Throw down the phone. No, not anymore. It's Sunday. This is the Christian holiday. We don't Shabbat shalom around here. Jesus paid the ultimate price. You guys like my mug I'm using today? Queen of everything. Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes it's slim pickings. The humble cup of Joe Hope Please mugs are not in yet. Not in yet. Has there been a moment where you and Daisy were searching for days for info on a particular show and you finally found what you needed in the nick of time? Barron has become the voice of my head. Can't fold laundry without him. Found what I needed in the nick of time? No. But there have been times when the research has turned out to be in vain. Because you look and you feel like there's something there and you pull and you pull and you pull and you pull and you pull. And then you look and go, that story didn't pan out. That's happened. Nick of time research. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, there've been times that the last notes are going into the run 10 minutes before the show. I mean, that kind of happened today, actually. I don't know if Daisy ever tells you the dirty secrets of how these shows are put together, but I think I put the last show note in the run 10 minutes or so before the show kicked off. In fact, I didn't even have time to queue up the link. I just threw a naked link in there. Not a naked link. Not that kind of show. Not that kind of show. I'm talking about just a link without text over it. That's what I meant by naked link. It's a technical term. Just curious, how is Candace able to say the trigger words that gets everyone else throttled and show uninterrupted clips of other creators' content without being copyright struck? Love all your perspectives. So the copyright thing's interesting. I kind of explained this on the members show Friday. There There's a difference in YouTube between creator content, meaning artistic content, and creator content, meaning commentary. Basically, if you create commentary, like this show's commentary. So if somebody pulls up my show and like comments about it, not much they can do. But if it's art, if I create a song, if I put some song lyrics together and I've got an original Baron Coleman hit, right? I'm doing my GACD thing on the guitar. I'm picking and grinning and I'm singing about, beer and pickup trucks and lost love. And I create a country banger. You can't steal that. Like that's art. You can't steal that. That's the difference. That's the difference. So she doesn't really play people's art without attribution. And she does what other people do. You can play a 2, 5, 10-minute clip of somebody's content as long as you're providing commentary along the way. And I get a lot of people like, stop stopping the clip and talking. Well, if I don't, I can't use it. Like I have to. How does she get away with saying the trigger words? I don't know. It may be that it does serve to throttle her to some extent, but see, she is so overwhelmingly powerful and such a force that it doesn't slow her down any. That could be. I don't know the answer to that. America only. Yeah, I'm about there. Honestly. I'm about to even tell Canada to bump off. I don't care about you, Canuck. No, I'm just kidding. I love Canada. We got your back. We got your back. We've had your back since 1814. Still a little bitter about the War of 1812, but it's over. It's over. And I've got a 200-year policy. I will only hold a grudge for 200 years. And you guys have passed that in the last decade or so. I'm over the War of 1812. I'm over you burning down the White House. I'm over the attack on Washington. We're good. You try it again, it's 54-40 your fight. You understand, Canucks? Moose jockeys, you get it? You understand what I'm talking about? Up there with drinking your Labatt's Blue, watching hockey, drinking maple syrup. Don't tempt me. I'm itching to get to that 54th parallel. I haven't forgotten the fact that James K. Polk turned his back on 54-40 your fight in exchange for Manifest Destiny. I've not forgotten my American history, Canada. Some of you guys are looking that up going, Manifest Destiny, 54-40 your fight. What the hell is he talking about? James K. Polk, who's from Columbia, Tennessee, just down the road, gave up on the Canadian fight. And he instead went for California, which worked out in the long run. Hat on. Does that mean you got a new barber and a haircut like last time? No. I got the same crappy haircut I had. I was recommended to wear it. I intended to go a little bad cop on the member show last time, but then we started chatting and having fun, and I didn't have it in me at that point. Once I start having a good time, the bad cop goes out the window. So I did it tonight instead. What is the Baron Discord link? Will some mod pin it somewhere? I think you guys can pin comments. If you could pin it to the top, that'd be great. Baseball cap is the male version of the low bun. Ooh, got your battle bun on, Candace. The fact that she acknowledged the battle bun is amazing. Amazing. That had to be like the pinnacle of Coach right there. That was something. I was watching that live when it happened. I was like, oh, she threw out Coach. Oh, speaking of, she mentioned George was watching Coach, and that's when he was like, you got to check out this clip of this guy going crazy over your battle bun. I want to interview George Farmer. That's like my goal in life right now. I don't have many goals. I don't travel. I'm kind of a homebody. If you look at my open scores, I'm not very good CrossFit anymore. I sit in this office too long. Totally bombed 26.2. It was awful. I'm going to redo it tomorrow, so I haven't put a score in yet. It's not going to be good. It was funny. I was warming up the muscle ups, and then I never got to them. Shouldn't have wasted my time. But no, I want to interview George Farmer. I think it would be such a good interview. George, if you're watching, Candace, if you're watching, I don't want to. She texted me today and we talked back and forth a little bit. And I wanted so badly to write in there, I want to interview George, but I didn't. I don't want to do that. I don't want to play I don't want to play my George card yet. Not yet. 5149, talking about James Lee. Had a great video recently about why the Iran war makes no sense. Almost like it's a planned Armageddon. Agree? Let me come back to that. Let me read the rest of it. I have a knee replacement on Tuesday. If led, feel free to pray. I will do PT. Thank you for your work. I actually have a friend of mine at the gym who had a knee replacement, and I was very worried for him. He's actually stronger and squats better now than he did before. But he did the PT, buddy, and that PT involves some heavy squatting and some hard lifting. So get a good PT and gain that full range of motion. You only have a limited window. Like when I broke my ankle, they were like, you got a limited window to get your range of motion back because once it sets in, it's in. That's all you got. It's like a year, basically. Is this a planned Armageddon? I think for some people, they would like to see it, and that scares the hell out of me. I was always brought up, again, going back to the George Bush era and before, we were told the other side were the ones that were trying to bring in the end times. Now it's us. It's our leaders. It's scary. It's scary. Did you see my email about friend's dad uses Patsy in murder? No, not yet. I'm a couple days behind. Don't usually catch a live. Yay. Appreciate when you read these super chats aloud. I usually just pop the AirPods in while I do stay-at-home mom stuff and don't always watch the video during that part. Appreciate it. Well, I hope you just heard yours read aloud with your earbuds doing stay-at-home mom stuff because, yeah, it's my favorite part. It's how I get to know you guys. And to me, it's my ability to jump in with the community because I don't get a chance to participate in all the comments during the show. I have to do it after the show or at the end of the show. Tell the haters to grin and bear. Yeah, they're just jelly. Erika could have spent those 8 months locked away while she had her son, Mikey McCoy. The time doesn't work. Mikey's too old for that. If she had a child, I mean, it's a big if, but if she had a child during that 8 months, that kid would be 17 or 18 years old now, not 23 or 4. What if CK knew it was an arranged marriage and went with it for presidency, but then decided to divorce after learning more about EK and handling potential? I do think there's something to that, honestly. I think there's something to the Charlie might have been aware there was a little arranged component to it, or at least, I mean, again, I'm not knocking him, but he had not had a ton of success with the ladies. Just hadn't. And along comes Miss Arizona with her giant blonde boof. And she's got a thing for old Chucky. You know, I don't know. Attended mass for the first time today. At the end, everyone in the church drank out of 3 cups. No disrespect, but seems gross. Please explain. At the end. So a couple of things. One is the cup is supposed to be metal, which helps eliminate and knock down germ transfer. 2, they do wipe it with what's called a purificator, a little napkin, essentially, towel, linen napkin. 3, the wine has to be alcoholic. It has to have alcohol in it. So that's also going to cut down on the germ transfer. 4, you don't have to participate in the cup. In fact, a lot of places don't have one. I mean, I don't know, maybe a lot. I don't know what the percentage breakdown is. Maybe half and half. Half of them have it, half of them don't. Maybe it's a little more have it and don't. I primarily go to 2 different parishes around here. One does have it and one does not. But you don't have to. I never take it because I don't want to drink alcohol. I just take the host and go sit back down. I don't stop at the cup. The chalice, the blood of Christ. I don't stop. I don't stop there. I just keep on going back. Well, I arrived at the Joe crash out in my binging of this series. Best crash out ever. Oh, gosh. That's there, huh? I had to edit that down. I hope you know what happens if you ask low IQ or make low IQ points. That happens. Thank you. For the love of sweet 6 pound, 7 ounce baby Jesus, please respond to my 17 emails about the MK Ultra survivor and the Vegas shooting survivors I know. I cannot commit to responding to any particular emails. Like I commit that every email gets opened and read. I cannot commit to responding to every email. I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. And I've actually been contacted now by multiple Las Vegas shooting survivors, and even a survivor of the shooting in Thousand Oaks, California, someone that was at both events. Weird. But I can't commit to responding to every email. Let's just, like a slow day. Let's say we get 200 emails on a day. If you spend 1 minute on every email, that's 3.5 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot of email reading. If you read, respond, watch any video that's linked, go to some web. I mean, you're looking at like a full 7-8 hour day just opening emails. I can't do it. Like, I cannot physically do it. I'm familiar with what you're talking about. If it becomes time that becomes something I want to follow up on, I will. But I can't be compelled to respond to any particular email. But no, I appreciate your emails. I've seen your emails. It wasn't 17, by the way. I don't think. It was like 5. Unless you sent a bunch more that I didn't see. But I think there were just a few. But I appreciate it. I genuinely do. And I have interest in talking to different people on different stories. But it's we've got shows planned. We're doing shows in order, and that's not quite on the agenda right now. So hang tight with me. Hang tight with me. I'm not being rude by that. I promise. It's just fact. I mean, there's only so many hours in a day. There's only so many of us that work on this operation. It's my sister, Daisy, me. That's it. That's the sum total of this operation. Did you see Adfleet's new music video about Shabbat Shalom featuring Candace? It's such a pop. I love it. I did. I saw that one. I think everything Fleet does is great. I even heard tale of a potential new hit coming out soon. I don't know if it's out yet, but I think there might be another one on the horizon that's going to slap. I might listen to it. First super chat. Love your Boilermaker colors. Never wearing this combo again. Ever. We'll call it Vandy. How about that? I like Vandy. They're all right. You're a fellow Boilermaker? Well, I'm not. I like teams that win national championships in both sports. Are you originally from Indiana? Yeah, I was born in Indiana. I lived there until 1988. So for the first roughly 9 years of my life, I lived there. And then I went to law school at IU. Do you believe Mercedes takes it this year? Man, I thought Ferrari was the team to beat until qualifying in the race last night. Holy mackerel, Mercedes is fast. I don't see how they don't, unless somebody else just figures it out between now and like the halfway point of the season. But man, they're fast. Hi, I've been vacationing in Florida the past 4 nights trying to catch up. What have I missed? Not much, Adriana. You've got just a few hours to catch up on. Watch it on 2-speed. You'll see me doing this. You'll love it. Counselor, no Shabbat Shalom from your Fed followers and radicalists. YouTube isn't going to like that. I actually did give a Shabbat Shalom at the end of the members show Friday, if that helps you feel better. But it was kind of ironic and in jest, maybe. Was Butler, Pennsylvania's setup, in your opinion, Trump's your thing? Yes. My birthday was yesterday, but couldn't celebrate due to my daughter being ill. I'm happy to be with the jury now. God is good. Christ is king. Emojis are blurred. Christ is king indeed. I don't know what that last line means. Emojis are blurred. They're blurred for me because I'm old and the computer's small. Hi, Baron. Did you get my email on the narrative credibility index? If so, I'm curious what you think. Appreciate your opinions. Christ is king. Go Max. Christ is king indeed. I don't know about the narrative credibility index. It's possible it's come in the last couple of days and I'm behind. But I promise you guys, if you send an email, I'm gonna get it. Killer B outfit, black hat, yellow hoodie. Big Baron fan. Love this high IQ outfit. I'm a big fan of you, Linda. I wore the black tee because I knew I was going to wear the black hat and I wanted to kind of set it off, I thought the white tee would cause the hat to look a little out of sorts with such a bright hoodie. Have you noticed Operation Einstein Fury has worked? Almost nobody's talking about CK, Einstein, or Gaza. Makes me sick, but God is slowly and continually giving us eyes to see. Christ is king. Yeah, I've noticed. Everything seems to be away. The news is just trashed right now. Baron, first time super chat, making Mississippi pot roast. I love Mississippi pot roast. Holy mackerel. I haven't had that in a while. Mrs. Coleman, a Mississippi pot roast, please. No butter. You and CO are my preferred pods. Keeping up the good fight. Love you. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Hey, have you done a Mississippi pot roast with chicken thighs? It's also very good. Very good. I love Mississippi pot roast with some roasted potatoes. Woo! Those pepperoncinis. That's it off, baby. Thank you. That gave me a good idea for dinner one day this week. Everyone hit the like button. I see, here I was not shaming you guys, and one of you shames you guys for me. We're getting close on likes, people. We're a little over a third. We gotta get more than that. These openings are top tier. They really need to be put into a book format. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I'm not opposed to that. We've got a website opening, and I think what I'm going to do is link the website to a Substack that has the openings, like has them in written form with the clips of the videos. That's where I think I'm headed next. I'm not sold on that, but I think I'm headed that way. Hey, Baron, just wondering if anyone interviewed any of the pilots that flew into Utah. Baron, just wondering if anyone interviewed any of the pilots that flew into Utah. I have not. I don't even know how we would know who they are. I guess we could call the companies maybe and ask, oh, wait a minute. I can't tell you what's happening. I'm like, oh gosh. There's some cool work being done out there. Hopefully it'll not a show of mine, but a fellow YouTuber. Hopefully it'll turn into a pretty cool show in the near future. But it doesn't have to do with the pilots. But it has to do with some on the ground work and calling people and making connections. Yeah. Coach Barron need 26.1 and 26.2 scores on record. My horrific 26.1 score is in. You can search it on the leaderboard. My 26.2 score hopefully will improve tomorrow, and then I will put it in tomorrow afternoon. So hopefully by 10-ish, maybe noonish, I'm done with it, and I'll go ahead and put it in when I finish. I'll get there. Just understand, I'm not fit right now. I'm out of shape. I've never been like a 99th percentile guy. I think I was 70th percentile, give or take, last year. This year, it won't be as good. It'll be lower than that. A lot. Please pray for my daughter-in-law, Meg. She is leaving tonight for the war. Oh, Meg. I'm sorry to hear that. I will. That's so sad to me. But baby Baron, still think brown shirt guy needs to be looked into. Please say happy birthday to my hubby, Vinny. It's also our anniversary, 35 years. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday. You don't look old enough. I can't tell you're small, but you don't look old enough to have been married 35 years. Unless you got married when you're like 3. But I mean, I've looked into Rick Cutler. That's brown shirt guy. But I haven't found anything that would make a show about Rick Cutler. Not really. Did y'all watch Ian's 9/11 show Friday night? I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I intend to. It was called Let's Talk About 9/11, or It's Time to Talk About 9/11. I intend to watch it. I sent a chat about the Economist's magazine cover during member show, but you couldn't do image search. YouTube one, they sent me original message. I don't remember the keywords you told me to look up, but let me try that real fast. Economist magazine cover. Oh, it's called The World Ahead. I'm looking at it. Yeah, I looked at it last time. I don't know what to make of it. It's like a bunch of cartoon things. You didn't tell me what I'm supposed to be looking for. You gave me that vague thing where you're like, look at it and tell me what you think. I think there's a bunch of red and blue art, some dollar signs, a tank. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for in there. I wish I did. I wish I knew. I would love to be in on the inside on that cool thing. They 764'd him and then captured him as a patsy. That probably means, that's that Sean Ryan thing. Yeah, maybe. What are your favorite healthy snacks? I don't know how healthy they are. They're big sugar bombs. I love medjool dates. Big fan of medjool dates. I like macadamia nuts. Bananas. Look, meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. That's how you eat. That's how you eat. Meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. But yeah, I mean, I like macadamia nuts, pistachio nuts, almonds, dates, medjool dates in particular. Though sometimes I like the rolled up dates that have coconut flakes on the outside. Those are good too. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, any kind of berry, strawberries, apples. Lara bars, Lara bars. The chocolate ones are good. I can't get out of my head the pick of TR in Dairy Queen. Superman sponsored DQ back in May 2025, not September, when the pick was supposedly taken. I think they looked into that and they said that the promo didn't end until like the end of September. So maybe there's nothing to that. Baron Badcop hat, that means a Joe style lashing in the stream. No, it just means me calling a bunch of people liars. Because they are, in my opinion. Hey, Baron, in my backyard, there's a private faith-based K-12 school with a founder from NASA, as well as a deacon who has 20 years military experience. That's kind of weird. Good evening, Jamie. Good evening. Great opening statement. It was absolutely infuriating what these demonic three-letter agencies keep doing and getting away with. It has to be stopped. Shame on us for thinking Trump was the guy. Christ is king indeed. Lamb Rocker, let me tell you, unfortunately, I think Trump was our last chance. I don't know that it gets better from here. It's going to be hard not to fall into that trap again and feel like we're getting duped. Good girl, I miss you so much. You are the most amazing woman I've ever known. I love you and I'm a risk, but I promise 100% day. Love Harvey? What are we talking about? Running with scissors. I think what happened is Harvey's gal left him. Harvey knows the gal watches the program and she's not accepting his DMs, may have blocked him. Probably blocked him from texts, blocked his emails. And so he's sliding into my comments, hoping I pull up the comment so that he can send a message to his good girl. I hope it works out for you, Harvey. I got bad news. I don't think it's going to, but I hope it does. I hope it does. For you, Harvey. For you. I got 5 on it. Doctorate in evolution of flying squirrels. Yeah. So you just blew apart the Excel spreadsheet timeline I sent to you. EK liar. Did I blow it apart? I don't know what that means. I got to check something out real quick. I just got an idea. I think they pulled a fast one on us, and I think I might be able to expose it right here. Give me just a moment. The way my brain works. You just reminded me to do something. I'm going to Wayback Machine her LinkedIn if it's available. And see when they changed to all those ridiculous basket weaving. It may not have been way backed. Did it get? Oh, there's index there. But did they keep it? Sometimes it shows it's indexed, and then you click it and it says no. Yeah, I tried. The things I do for you guys. Oh, this is a good one. Maybe this is it. No, not there. We'll have to find a way to do that. Because I doubt that's been that way for long. I doubt I think they realized they're caught and they updated it to make it look crazy. ASU website says they only started an international relations degree in 2024. She said 2012, right? Yep. Hi, Baron. As an Aussie, I'm so disappointed about Oscar. These cards are proving to be horrible. Even the loss of Max in qualifying was shocking. Keep up the good work. I love the show. Yeah, the cars are terrible. That rear lock for a guy of Max's caliber should never happen. So something's wrong with the cars. Never had EK defending XXX stars on my 2026 bingo card. Me either. I was kind of frankly shocked. TPUSA claims Charlie Kirk wanted Erika Kirk to run for president, puked in mouth. Yes. Bull butter. He never said she should be. BB did it. He said it like OJ Simpson. If I did it, what's next? Nothing. Number 1 is bothered enough. Number 1. I don't know what all that means. Did you see the bust in Scottsdale? Candace reacting to it on X a few hours ago. No, I didn't. But thank you. We will shortly. I was preparing for a show a few hours ago. Well, let me look. We'll all look together if it's up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's look at this. This is interesting. Good call on this, by the way. Just so you guys, let me see here. Where is it? Share screen. Share screen. There we go. All right. Yes, I'm aware this allows people to traffic and sell without any consequence. Their law must be changed in Arizona. If a reporter learns the names of those arrested, please email them over to me. Is it currently against the law in Arizona to post mugshots and names on social media related to arrests? There are exceptions for emergency community notifications, such as wanted, armed, and dangerous suspects. Scottsdale, Arizona just arrested 202 people who were involved in transporting children and selling their services. Despite announcing this bust, neither the names or the faces of those have been released. Over and over again, those are caught, have their faces protected. Federal law stipulates their mugshots are not released to the public. Why? That's crazy. 202 people? People are sick. That's a lot of people. I wonder if any of them work at TPUSA. I'm just asking questions. Baron, please be Pat Cop Patrol. I'm trying. He did believe this, and I know why. Believe that it was a quagmire? I don't know what you're talking. Oh, he did believe that she would be president? By all means, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to email me the evidence. I'd love to see it. Maybe they already printed the Vance Kirk ticket for 2028. Charlie Kirk out, EK in, Kirk surname, hence the narrative. Yeah, the problem is they put the website up 2 days after he died. Random. Why don't you wear a wedding band? You don't seem like the kind of man to think that's not a big deal. Because I work out and my hands get all torn up, and I did wear one for a while, but it was just tearing my it was tearing my finger to shreds. It was tearing the like where you grip a pull-up bar. It was tearing that to shreds. So I went to one of the silicone bands thinking that I might actually have one of those in here. I went to the silicone bands thinking that might work. No, I don't have them in here. And that actually didn't work either. I don't go anywhere. I don't leave my house. I stay at my house. I go to the gym. I come back to the house. I go to church. I come back to the house. I don't go places. So I'm not like a threat. Like I don't go out to dinner with buddies and stuff. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. I go to church. I go to the gym. I come home, and my wife goes to those places with me most of the time. So, but that's why it's just because taking it on and off every day got to be a hassle. So I just stopped wearing. Not a big deal. That's why. Like I said, I don't think she wears one either, actually, for the same reason. I don't know. Honey, if you're listening, do you wear a wedding ring? Like I said, we're all living in one big episode of House of Cards, and that should scare the doo-doo out of all of us. Yeah. Is Candace still pressing EK for a Fort Huachuca alibi? I think the request is on the table. We'd love to see an alibi. I mean, that would be brilliant if she could come out and just say she wasn't there. That would be the easiest way to solve the problem. It might not work out for her well if she does that, but she could. She could absolutely just come out and definitively state, I was not there. I love how Tyler's justification for Erika being CEO was Erika was already there. Like, yeah, she's dumb as a sack of potatoes and is a demon lizard woman, but she's literally present. That's how low the bar is. Yeah, that's not ideal. Follow the money. Leah Files on Substack and TikTok. The series will blow your mind. Thank you. EK has a naughty video, or she's Antichrist. It wouldn't shock me. Either one, frankly. Regarding website, EK and Vance were together 9/11. That's correct. They were. He flew into Utah to transport the body. That's a good point. Good point. But no one was talking about her being president at the time. Jamil Giovanni launched Restore the North campaign based on CK's campus model. Giovanni equals Vance's best friend from college. Weird data point. Okay. Duly noted. That's the reason they were telling CO she was negatively affecting the Republican elections. It was about how it would impact EK's electability. And I didn't put that together. That's a good call there, Gaga Mom. That's a good call. Baron, would you ever be up for doing a series in the future on government cover-ups, etc., surrounding different wars the U.S. has been involved in? I'd love to hear your insights. God bless you. Yeah, I'd definitely be up for that. We could go back a long way. We could go back to the Mexican-American War if you want to. That was a issue. Now TPUSA wants the kids in public schools. Yeah, I was watching a clip. I don't remember what clip it was. One of those clips I was watching had they were bragging about being in 30,000 high schools. Yeah, that's a lot. Erika equals Liv Schreiber's character in the film Manchurian Candidate. Not familiar with that movie? Google for the synopsis. I mean, I'm familiar with the purpose of it, but not familiar enough to know who Liv Schreiber is. Leah Files on Substack says the Wayback Machine proclaimed 365 edit on 910 was she put up the Matthew 25:40. Will you read that for us, please? Will I read Matthew 25:40? I'll even read it out of the New Bible. I don't get a chance to open this one as much as I thought I would. What did you say? 25:40? I'm getting close. And the king will answer them. Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it to me. She edited her website to put that up. New Bible. Okay. Done. There are no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. Good call, Erika. I'm a grown 35-year-old man who's been all around the world that's legit seen some sketchy and outright creepy doo-doo. And even all this gives me the creeps. It's time we go Tombstone. That's my favorite movie. Hell's coming with me. It's not revenge he's looking for. It's a reckoning. Yeah, we need a reckoning. We definitely need a reckoning. That's kind of what I feel like we're doing here. Off topic, but have you figured out what plane EK is flying these days? For some reason, N102DZ doesn't show any flights for me since January. I'm one of those curious people that wants to see where she's going. Yeah, so in January, they stopped sharing the public details. You can still find it on ADSB Exchange, but I do think she's flying a different plane most of the time, if not all the time. Chauvin Kirk 2028 was registered by Beacon Mask, a contractor out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Beacon Mask. I don't know what that means. Beacon Mask. Let's do this. I'm getting a lot of searches for Beacon Mask, like 2 words. Let me do one. Is that like a privacy company? Probably. Good data point. We'll look into that. Thank you. Start to understand now why 300,000 kids went missing during the Biden open border years, and more importantly, why this story just disappeared. Yeah, hundreds of thousands of kids go missing every year. And that's like a dirty little secret that nobody likes to talk about. Maybe EK is a twin, and that's why the story never aligns. I don't think so. Also, AK was definitely the one who gave CO the X login to view EK's feed a few weeks ago. What? Why would you say that? I mean, I don't know that you're wrong. I don't know that you're right, but I'm curious why you're so confident in saying that. This is for Mrs. Coleman. Thank you for sharing Barron with us. You're the real MVP. My husband and I have been married for 16 years this year. Teamwork makes the dream work. Praying for y'all daily. Thank you, Emily. Little do you know, Mrs. Coleman gets all of it. So that was hers anyway. I don't spend money. She does. Favorite day of the week? Sunday means Baron show in the evening and one day closer to a new week with Candace. Thank you for all you do, Baron. Home Sweet Rome was a powerful book. Thank you for the share of such a great book. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great introductory, very readable book for people who are curious or inquiring into the faith. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Love me some Bad Cop Baron and Slick Back Candace. LOL, y'all rocks. I imagine we're going to get a power bun tomorrow. That's my guess. That's my prediction. We're going low bun, battle bun. My prediction is battle bun because I think I know where she's going tomorrow. I think. I'm not 100% sure. 80%. I'm 80% sure. Charlie 8625 said on MK he was writing a book. I don't think he is the one who finished that book, and he was taken out before he could run for president. I agree. I don't think he finished the book. I think it was substantially rewritten after his death. I'm wondering if Eric and the gang are lying so much to distract you and Candace and Coach to go off in different directions away from the truth of who killed CK. Maybe. That's an interesting thought. My thought on the lying is it's important to me to document the many different lies and inconsistencies and story changes and all that kind of stuff. Trust me, I'm sitting on a bunch that I haven't shared. And the reason is because attacking her credibility, or not attacking it, demonstrating her lack of credibility cuts into her ability to say, I wasn't there, I was over here, I did that, y'all got to believe me. And so that does go to help solve the case because it takes her out of the equation. We can stop worrying about where she said she was. She's not a believable person. Thank you for your research, Arch, and wanting the truth. You're a great warrior, man of God, provider, protector, warrior, blessing his family and community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I really do appreciate that. Baron, you do have talent on loan from God. You're not a phony, baloney, plastic, banana, good time, rock and roller. No, I hope not. You should come out for T. Rue's library opening. Medora, North Dakota, 7-4-ish. Going to be a big deal. That sounds like a fun time, actually. I've never been to North Dakota. That sounds fun. Is it safe? What I worry about these days. Did you see Super Smart Crow? I see a lot of super smart crows. Is there like a particular something called a super smart crow? They also bought Kirk Vance 2028 on 9/21 and Erika Kirk 2028 on 9/12. Kirk Vance 2028 was 9/12 U.S. time. I will look at Erika Kirk 2028 after this. I did not know to look for that. If Charlie thought Erika would be president one day, he was not the genius we're made to believe. Love you, Baron. That's kind of the problem is they're destroying his legacy by saying stupid stuff like that. I wish I could send a pic, but I just checked the security certificate of Vance Kirk, and the location of issue is Scottsdale. That's interesting. It's right in line with my thoughts. Been watching Jesse. I'm convinced Christ is king. I'm not convinced. I like Jesse, but I'm not convinced. I wonder where those cabinet members live. That's a good point. Which two cabinet members, sir, are your customers? How do you deal with family members who are Zionists? With love. I mean, the same way you deal with anybody. You deal with them with love. Not worth destroying families over, In other words, say it's your grandma, right? It's your grandma. Both of my grandmas are passed, but let's say I had a living grandma. She was just a hardcore. Is it worth destroying all of my relationship with my grandma to convert one person out of 330 million Americans? No. We guarded poppy fields and patrolled villages. About it. I was there. I'm ashamed as a vet now. I'm told that was a lot of the plan was to keep the heroin running. Israel and Western allies spent 2 years turning Gaza to dust, complete air dominance, genocide. Hamas is still de facto leaders and armed. We think we can do anything to Iran. This is insane. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, you've got a very little small strip of land, very sparsely populated. I mean, not sparsely, but not a lot of people. And you're not able to defeat them. What makes you think you're going after a country of 92 million people and you're going to have any kind of success? Trad Catholic mom of 3, number 4 on the way any day now. Husband's a lawyer. We both really love your show. We are curious if you want to say which Latin mass you attend. Thank you for all you do. Christ is King. I don't want to say that, but thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's a TLM. It's not none of the other ones. We haven't pressed hard enough on why Mikey just walked away. I mean, we pressed pretty hard. We pressed so hard they had to issue a statement supporting him and do a whole show on it. But we can look back into it. Best friend's son in reserve just got called to get his affairs in order and be ready. Just had a little baby boy less than a month old. Heartbreaking. This is not going to be quick, guys. Got my master's in nonprofit leadership at Barry University in Miami in the 2000s. Apparently, I missed class the day they taught laundering money and transporting kids. I guess my degree's worthless for EK's gigs. Thanks for all your hard work. Go Max. Y'all's. The rare double apostrophe, guys. The possessive contraction. The possessive plural contraction. It's not. That's a true Southerner right there. That is not every day you get the rare double high comma. God's comma. Comma to the top. Thank you. Yeah, you can't work there. Too honest. EK is kind of like typhoid Mary, infecting everyone she comes in contact with in a bad way. She doesn't even realize she's the problem. Oh, she might. I did hear DJT was having a new bunker built. I think it's under the east. I think it's under the ballroom, right? I mean, they got a giant hole there. What are they doing down there? You wouldn't need a giant hole for a ballroom. Just put a slab down and get the building. And we gave the Taliban billions in our military equipment. Oh, yeah, it's a great success. It's all done by design. One world order. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Baron, you're so good. You got your enemies tuning in. Oh, they tune in. They definitely tune in. I love this attack that broke up. And I'm thankful because I told everyone I took a pay cut to do this, and Gary's out there proving it. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. Regarding opening statement, Patsy's or CIs are allowed to continue criminal behavior, even if it's blank of kids in Wisconsin. In my experience, very disturbing. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I have experienced that myself. In fact, there was in Auburn a few years ago, there was a young woman named Anaya Blanchard who was killed by a guy. It was a tragic story. I was on the radio when it happened. And, I surmised that the guy who killed her was a confidential informant. Why? Because he had multiple arrests, including trying to run over a police officer, charges dropped, jumping over the governor's fence with a gun in his hand, charges dropped. Like, he just kept getting away with crimes. And then he finally killed a girl. And I thought, this guy was a CI. Like, he was a legitimate CI. He was just breaking laws. Or he was something. He was something. Great job, Baron. Enjoy your lighthearted competence and articulate lighthearted competence. I'm taking that as a compliment. And articulation. Why are you against the handgun theory? You mean the palm gun? Because it's not true. I mean, I don't think it's true. I've watched that slow down video from every angle you can. I don't see a room for a palm gun in his hand. B, I've stopped the high quality, high definition footage the moment after he pulls his sleeve up and there's no room for it. C or 3, I don't know if I'm counting or doing letters, but I'm on my third point here. Third sequential point. He doesn't move his arm until after the noise. He's just reaching over. He hadn't even grabbed his sleeve or anything yet. The noise goes off and then he pulls his arm up. It just doesn't make sense to me. And D or 4 or 12 in base 3. You math nerds got a kick out of that. He would have had to make an impossible shot in such a fast. I mean, he didn't even have time to aim. He just picked it up, and I just don't buy it. That's why I just don't buy it. They always say keep your friends close, and because a hardcore, they always say keep your friends close and your enemies closer was true for Charlie because his friends, enemies, and wife were all on the same team. Ooh. Blake says they're trying to maintain CK voice, and yet they deleted all his videos. Make it make sense. Yeah. And they're saying an exact opposite of everything he said. Please invade. Salamander salute. Hoko for Morse code. Bondi Blanks? Huh? Okay. Bayron, can't confirm, but I've heard the new White House ballroom was less about a ballroom and more about what's under it. That's what I just said. Modernized, expand, bunker. That's what I said. Safety car pit killed Leclerc. You mean Ferrari was being Ferrari. They wore their clown noses. They wore their rainbow afros. They wore their white paint on their face. They had their giant size 43 slippers on. They were honking their noses. Ferrari can't get out of their own way. Hey, now, counselor, no ragging on pickup trucks. I'm not. I drive one. I'm not ragging on them. Charlie said Erika would be president one day. It's hard to find words to describe how ridiculous they sound. Pathetic, embarrassing, delusional. Yes. And more. What if Charlie was a warning to comply or else? I believe that is, I can't tell you how many people I talked to in the immediate aftermath. They're like, we're not going in public. I mean, people who go in public are like, I'm not going in public right now till we figure out what's going on. Jess Happy. Thank you, Jess. I'm going to put a W sticker on my pickup truck. Sounded just like how Theo would say it. You've got to get on with Theo and Rogan. People need to hear what you're saying. Keep going, Max. Christ is king indeed. Christ is king indeed. I would go on with either one of them in a heartbeat. I don't know if they want to have me. But you know how people say you have an open invitation? I have an open acceptance. There are some shows that are just open acceptances. Give me the travel terms. Tell me when to be there. We'll record at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. I don't care. Just let me know. I'll show up. No preconditions. No signing in. I'll just talk. Candace was that way. Never too late to smash that like button. When I saw it's never too late to smash, I didn't know where you were going. But yes, also smash the like button. Yes, also smash the like button. Pronounced red dog good. Oh. Hubby laughed at me because I always mistakenly say pansy instead of Patsy. Question everything and trust no one. Well, maybe pansy. Oh my gosh, you were kidding me. Maybe pansy is the right word. I'm getting a note from Daisy. I don't know how we're going to prove this, Daisy. After we did the video about the ASU program, I'm going to pull it up. I'm told that's when the LinkedIn changed. You know, we did the program about recently, the show about her lying about being summa cum laude and having a double major. After we did that show is when I'm told that it changed. Oh, we got a time-stamped video. This is going to be great. Okay. Oh, Daisy's the best. GOAT tier, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me show you what we're talking about. So if you go to her current educational status, this means she still has control over it. If you go to her current, meaning Erika Frantzve's current educational status here. Hold on, I got to get this pulled down. You'll see right here that summa cum laude has been added to everything, and you've got post-game stretching, underwater basket weaving, like, right? So they're trying to make it look like we don't know what we're talking about. But ladies and gentlemen, we keep receipts. We keep receipts. And I've got a time-stamped receipt here showing you definitively it did not look like that just a week ago. So let me share with you the screen and show you it did not say underwater basket weaving. It did not say summa cum laude on everything. You see what's happening here? These are deeply dishonest people. They added that so that when people, this is weird because I'm like right next to myself here. They added that so when people went to fact check my show and the claims, and as people were talking about it, They would see the underwater basket weaving. They would see the pre and post game stretching, and they would assume, oh, this must be a parody. This must not be actually Erika Frantzve's account. Honest people don't act like this. Honest people don't act like this. This is not how honest people act. This is not how innocent people act. We are dealing with a deeply dishonest organization led by a deeply dishonest human being. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. A deeply dishonest organization led by a deeply dishonest person who, when caught lying, doesn't have the shame in her soul to say, you know what? I've been lying this whole time and I feel bad about it and I'm sorry. I shouldn't have told people I had an EDD in Christian leadership. I never did. I shouldn't have told people I had a double major at ASU. I didn't. I shouldn't have told people I graduated summa cum laude. I didn't. Instead, they update the website to make sport of it. Now, it's just my opinion that she has control over this website. It's an informed opinion because it's been up a long time before anyone knew who she was. And it's said the same thing for a very long time, for multiple years. And I just cannot imagine somebody would be playing the long enough game to open a LinkedIn under her name 5 years ago and populate it with all these things that are not true. On the off chance that one day she gets married to someone who's influential, who dies tragically, and she takes over his job and she gets caught lying. That's not a reasonable set of facts on which you could rely. These people deserve all the hell we're giving them. They just do. They just do. I would like to see Tyler Boyer, Andrew Colvett, or Erika Kirk come out and say that they had nothing to do with it. They have no idea who controls that page. And that they had nothing to do with it changing, and they had nothing to do with the errors on there, and that they have no idea why Erika Kirk's articles talk about her being a double major, because she's never said that, because that major didn't exist. She never claimed to graduate summa cum laude or magna cum laude because she knows she didn't. Or here's evidence she did. Here's my official transcript. Here's my P.O. box, guys. Here's how you can prove it. Every school will mail transcripts wherever you tell them to mail it. Like if you apply for a job or a security clearance, or you apply for a bar license or a medical license, you have to, or school, a lot of schools require it. You have to mail your transcript directly from the school. It cannot pass through your house on the way there. If you guys will mail me the transcripts, I'll review them and I will report whatever they say. But that's bonkers. That's just a level of dishonesty that just shouldn't happen. Oh, gosh. You serious? See why I'm against war? Some family line was just devastated. Somebody's grandchild, somebody's son or daughter, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, mom, dad, all the kids that wouldn't be born from that person, all the grandkids that wouldn't be born from that person, an entire line just wiped out. For what? For what? Stop, guys. She's just happy it's her first at company that's made Delaware over 50,000. Not to be morbid, but her husband had to die for that to happen. Yeah. Sorry, that news of the 7th shook me. If Erika shows up on the ballot, I will vote for the opposing candidate. She's pure evil, horrible speaker, and has no business being the vice president. Well, that's, again, if they're even considering that, this series must continue. Baron's rants are the best. Thank you, Short Coin. Your comments are the best. They've had so many deceased coming into Dover AOFB. They are hiring in the mortuary. I thought they only had 6 or 7. Are they slow rolling them? Are there more and they're not telling us? Check out podcaster George Galloway for his intel from Iran, Israel. My non-Zionist pastor told us about it today. Much more devastation in Israel than we're being told with nukes available. If they keep taking hits, they may resort. Surely not. Surely not. RBP and the high IQ and common sense that keeps us sane and the insanity of the slop. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Very kind. Show us the dog. I showed you the dog. Oh, that probably came in. My hands still smell like the dog from petting her. I got dog hair on me. She's a very good dog. She doesn't jump. And so now she's probably confused. She's probably sitting in there on one of her 2 beds. She's got 2 beds, 3 beds, really. She has her cage she sleeps in. Probably sitting on one of her beds, shaking her head like, why did Granddad make me jump up on him? He tells me all the time not to jump up. Why did he make me jump up? She calls me Granddad. And then I got to go in there tonight and I got to explain it to her. We only jump up for the camera, Tilly. We don't make it a habit. You can show off on the show. Outside of that, stay down. Stay down. I can assure you nobody cares what Gary thinks. Don't mess with the moneymaker. He's jealous. Edge. Yeah, I don't care what he thinks. I just appreciate him helping me out. You, not Baron, can't be for war and not be willing to be a fighter in it. Most won't be willing to fight. Not you, Baron. Oh, you, other fictitious you can't be for war and not be willing to fight in it. Most won't be willing to fight. Or sign your kid up. If you're too old. Why has no one talked to Charlie or Tyler's parents? Also, did you ever show the pic you referenced of Erika at Huachuca on the 9th? So second question, no. Why has no one talked to Charlie's or Tyler's parents? I don't know. Tyler's parents would be very dumb to talk on the record, frankly. I mean, their kid's sitting on death row. I mean, in a death penalty case. That would not be smart for them. Charlie's parents, they're free to talk, but they're mourning the loss of their son. I think it would be a little invasive to call them and ask them to go on the record or even off the record. I mean, if they reach out to somebody, that's different. I believe your thoughts on why he has gone. It absolutely breaks my heart. If that's true, even if they win a war, they will never make it out of hell. Kids lost an amazing dad for this. So sad. Rest in peace, Charlie. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Unfortunately. Pray for reigning Christians, 1 million plus, ready to share Christ. Revelation 7, 9-10. Great multitude from every nation, tribe, and tongue. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, I read that the other day, that they had 1 million. A pretty high volume, considering what we're told. Tilly looks like my old soulmate dog, Jackson. My great Carolina yard dog. He was the best. Yeah, I can't figure out if Tilly's a Feist or a Carolina dog. She's kind of in between the size of the two, and she looks like both. If you look up brown Feist, she looks exactly like one. But if you look up brown Carolina dog, she looks exactly like one. It's just, she's kind of right in between, like 10 pounds too big for a Feist and 10 pounds too small for a Carolina dog. She might be a mutt of a Carolina dog and a Feist. Not ruling it out. DJT betrayed his loyal base. The war is mission accomplished, only for little country controlling the entire admin, much by infiltration, allegedly. We must all pray for a quick end. P.S. Hugs to Tilly. Tilly's popular. More popular than your humble host. Raise your hand if you think Barron should accept one of the sponsorships he's been offered. So I haven't mentioned that on the attacks, but I promise you I've turned down more than I'm making. I just tell you. I actually had one guy say, "You are out of your mind," and I'm like, I'm not ready to do that. Like, this is a listener supported operation. We do a Q&A. It's already long enough. If I cut it to an hour and didn't do the Q&A and we switched it so the listener, but right now I'm enjoying this and they seem to be enjoying it, and so that's how we do it. But I promise you that would be a revenue increase if I did, and I'm not going to right now. So but I don't want to indulge the haters. I don't want to indulge the critics. But just thank you for pointing that out. But I'm not going to right now, Natalie. Unless you're one of the advertisers trying to get me to join you. I love Bad Cop. Please bring Bad Cop out once a week at least. I don't know about once a week. Still trying to force a Vance Kirk ticket. Are they really? Is that still a thing? Please do a deep dive on Vatican translator Mauro Biglino. Reports on Bible mistranslations of Kavod, Rosh, Elohim, El Shaddai, Yahweh, El Elyon, etc. Let me look real quick. Let me just type in a note here to look at it. This interests me. This is the type of stuff I like. Mauro Biglino. Okay, I'll look at him. He's on my notes. Baron, my nickname is the Queen. Well, Mary, so is my wife's. That's why we have the Queen of Everything mug. She's the Queen. Why are people so territorial? We are all children of the world. I do not appreciate Trump at all. He's a liar. Well, certainly starting to trend that way. I love how you always have Candace's back. It's also fantastic when you laugh. Oh, well, thank you. I do, because I think the work she's doing is so incredibly important right now. Have I heard from Mark and Shani lately? Concerned about her. Seems like it's been a while. She chimed in last week. I mean, she's kind of a once a weeker, sometimes a twice a weeker. So I anticipate we'll see her. But you're right. If we don't, I'll have to try to track her down, because I do worry about her. You're right about CK Iran being a thorn to them, IMO. I wonder whose fingers over the delete button, watching all the videos TP pulled immediately. His family erasing selected opinions from history. Disgusting. I'm curious who has the authority to delete those videos. It's a good question. Baron, the Iran war coupled with bizarre American Zionist global goal to force the second coming is why this happened to Charlie. The motive and why they went along with it so easily, allegedly. Guys, let me just point out a very basic tenet of Christianity. And I know there are people that are going to disagree with this, and I'm happy to hear your suggestion, but this is my understanding. And I'll entertain people saying the other side, if there is one. But when Jesus died, the temple veil split from top to bottom. And the classic Christian interpretation of that was, it's because the temple no longer had significance. The temple housed God's presence. When Jesus died, it split from top to bottom, opened up, meaning the presence of God is now in the world, in the hearts of his believers. It's in the Holy Spirit. So why are we trying to force go backwards into some system that nullifies the sacrifice of Christ? I don't get it. It was the ultimate sacrifice, the Paschal Lamb. I don't understand this fascination with temple worship. It is so contrary to Christianity. And I have yet to find anyone explain. And I've gone looking. I looked on Rob McCoy. I looked for Frank Turek. Someone explained to me why reinstituting temple worship will further the cause of Christ. I can't find an answer to that. So that's an open call. Anybody knows the answer to that, email me. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. FYI, someone has clips from Member Show on their YouTube. Well, they're not supposed to. I mean, I really don't care, but I do care because people pay good money to be a member in those shows. What happens in the member chat stays in the member chat. So send me a link to it. I'd like to at least look at it, see if it's something that bothers me. Yeah. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me. I'll look at it. Daylight savings time, not savings in the bank. Yeah. It's a Southernism. Like we say the Kroger's. I got to go to the Kroger's and pick up some milk. We add S to everything. It's not you, it's me. It's 37 years, 35 years of living in the South. I can't help it. We say savings time. We say driver's license, like there's more than one driver on each license. No, it's a driver license, but we say drivers. And we get frozen yogurt at the TCBYs. Some froyo. Remember when that was a thing? CO hosted a debate with George and A.B. Stuckey. He was amazing. Thank you. Only one of them would have been amazing. Candace, obviously amazing, but only between George and Allie Beth, only one of them could be amazing. I am so unimpressed with that woman. So unimpressed. Did you ever find the large object being carried in the background of the USA Guy video? Posted in Discord RBP pod discussion tab 2. It's really strange. I haven't seen that. I was 11 on 9/11. My 5th grade class watched Second Tower fall live for basically 20 years. I believe they hate us for our freedom and we will be treated as liberators. Eventually realized propaganda happens in America. Yeah, we were not treated as liberators. And they don't hate us for our freedom. They hate us because we keep destroying everything around them. Jumped in on, and well, that's assuming that's the best reading of it, frankly. The probably more accurate reading is even darker than that. Jumped in on live from binging on past episodes up to 45 now. There I see DJT blacklisted, captures my sentiments exactly. Is bad cop going to crash out on DJT or did I miss it already? No. I mean, it's building. It's coming if things don't turn quickly. Iran, no Rothschild central bank, just like Libya, Iraq, Venezuela, and Afghanistan. Coincidence? Probably not. Don't hold back, Iran. We're counting on you. Well, I'm not rooting for the defeat of America, so I'm not going there. I just want it over. I want it done. Baron, Ms. AZ, and a basketball player. She was totally set up for CK. He never knew about her real past. Yeah, I wonder things like, did Charlie think she graduated summa cum laude with a double major? Did Charlie know she only played 1 year of college basketball at Regis? I mean, of all the lies were continually fed, did he buy them? I feel so bad for that man. I feel so bad that was his life. Hey, Baron, please look at footage I sent you titled Security Camera Footage of Alleged Shooter Walking to and from UVU has been edited. Look and new email, maybe Erica's Uncle Rick at UVU with podcaster that gives us so much. Yeah, I'll look at it. Thank you. Man, he has broken so many stories. He has done more to support Candace Owens than probably anybody else on YouTube. Your humble host included. I credit many things to Charlie. His passing introduced me to the atrocities Philly has committed. I had no idea how embedded they are into our nation's political system. Last, how is lobbying legal? Good question. EK told Jesse Waters she saw the evidence. Her lawyer told CO they haven't seen anything. Tracy trailed off saying CK had told EK home needed her. Her mom needed her during the interview with Big Ears. Thanks, Fleet. Can't unsee it. These bug me. Oh, you're saying the inconsistencies, the lies, Yeah, remember that was a thing that, you should see the evidence that the police have shown them. They haven't shown anybody anything. But for Candace, we wouldn't know that. Thank you for that contribution, Mother. From Quebec, Christ is King, indeed. Iran, Tehran, last October, new subway station, all about Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary. Iran have 1 million Christians. Palestine, land of Jesus Christ. Nazareth, go Max guys. It's almost like they're targeting those sites for a reason. Almost like Jesus is an impediment. Super chat's dedicated to that guy, the most unlikely promoter of Barron's high IQ grand jury. If you are watching, Gary, this one's for you. Let's not attack. I shouldn't have brought him up. Shouldn't have brought him up. We need a full stream members live on the Iran situation, especially from an attorney's point of view. Yeah, I might do that on a members live. I don't feel like I can unleash and have YouTube not freak out. So I might have to put that behind a paywall. How did I end up south of Nashville? I've lived here since 1988, off and on. Just where my parents moved when I was little. And it always felt like home. So we came back. Did CK actually go to Timpanogos? Oh, I learned it's not Timpanogos. It's Timpanogos. That's from a Utah native. He said, you pronounce Timpanogos wrong. I was like, how do you pronounce it? He's like, Timpanogos. And I'm like, that's what I say. He's like, no, you say Timpanogos. It's Timpanogos. I'm like, goose. It's like my wife thinks that D-A-W-N and D-O-N, Dawn and Dawn, she thinks those are pronounced differently. Like my sister thinks Laura and Lara are pronounced differently. No, they're the same word, Laura. Sorry. What about Imtala? Could hospital have been a meetup, communication hub, Hunter Hospital with baby, or HK's cover story? I don't know. That's good. That's good thought. I don't know. Maybe. I never thought about the hospital being a hub of an intel spot. That would explain them trying to get the cameras, the footage. There's an interview with Henry Dell. He said when security was screening their questions, Hunter got a different question approved, nothing at all about guns, then switched when he got up there. Henry's confused. Send me that interview. Send me that interview, Jennifer. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. I'll put it up on the screen so you know how to spell it. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Send me that interview. Put in the subject line, Henry Dell interview. I have not seen that. If I did, I don't recall it making an impression at the time. Big family, try this. I'm 66 and my mother's 9th and youngest. My father's 4th and youngest and the only child of both my parents. That's pretty wild. You got a lot of half siblings. Pilots could email clandestinely. I don't. Oh, you mean the pilots from that day could email your humble host at realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Is that what you're saying? They could. I'm open. Pilots, if you're watching. How did I know Erika's lying? Her lips moved. Yeah. Granted. Perhaps someone needs to look into the possibility of L. Graham being behind or part of the CK event. Who's L. Graham? What are these athletic scores? Where to find? Oh, you don't want to look at mine. It's the CrossFit Open. It's an annual competition. It takes place over 3 weeks. One workout per week. Everybody puts their score in by Monday night. Your humble host is doo-dooing the bed this year. Way too much time podcasting, not nearly enough time working out. It is catching up to him. Baron, Bad Cop looks good. Back to seeing Christ. Thank you. Please give a shout out to my son, Wade. We love you. Yes, go see the Lord. Go see the Lord. What up, Wade? Paige, is it Paige? I can't pronounce that last name, but Paige, your son, Wade, is probably brilliant if he's watching. Very high IQ outfit here. Sorry for the upcoming Indiana loss in Bloomington, November 14, 2026. This is the year. Fight on. Sound like a USC fan or something. Please watch out, Charlie Kirk. Operation 220, Part 5. I don't know what that means. I know you said you weren't putting anyone in the frame, but I think Candace deserves a spot. Yeah, I think it's its own statement right now. I mean, I might eventually put somebody up there. But right now, it's its own statement. CK could have waited to run for office against JD. Ooh, could have. Why is USVI House Delegate Stacey Plaskett, who texted with Einstein while on the House committee, avoided testimony? I don't know. I'm not in charge of the House committee that's taking testimony. Please listen to the first minute of Raw Thoughts. Man, if I listened to everything you guys told me to listen to, I wouldn't be able to do a podcast. I just sit around listening to shows all day. Watching, reading, listening. I would have no time to podcast. I mean, it takes hours to put the show together every day. And then I can do a show for 3 or 4 hours. I'll think about it. He doesn't even start going after Einstein people until 1:40, but I think the first minute would convince you to listen to the rest of the song. Oh, it's a song. Yeah, might. Somebody just made a super chat about their family going to Iran. This pisses me off like nothing else right now. I'm so sorry. Been there, done that, and it blanking sucks. Yeah. Looked at merch, still no women's V-neck. Yeah, we talked about that. We're working on that. The first rollout is limited for a reason, but we have talked about that. I brought it up to Nurse Casey on the agenda. Sending love and prayers to all military and their families. My MC son has avoided war deployment for 6 years with standing orders for other ops. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I hope he continues that stellar streak, Bella. Baron, I'm 17 years old. I really like listening to your show. Like being part of this high IQ outfit here. Are you going to try to find out who made the Vance Kirk website? Yeah, of course. I don't know that we'll be able to. I mean, they put privacy there for a reason, but yeah, of course. And thanks for listening, Matthew. You sound like a very high IQ 17-year-old. You got a bright future ahead of you. In Hegseth's confirmation hearings, he swore to not sending our men and women to battle for needless war. So now he seems so overboard in his statement for non-just war. So why not just resign? Good question. Why was he confirmed in the first place? Please don't push us Canadians out, Baron. We need you. I will send you real maple syrup if I have to. I love your show and our awesome community. I love the community. I love the jury. The members of the jury are phenomenal. It makes it so fun to show up here. Real maple syrup will go a long way. If you knew how much real maple syrup we used in this house, my kids do not eat my diet. They eat a lot of pancakes and waffles and stuff like that for breakfast with real 100% maple syrup of the Canadian variety with some Vermont thrown in there. That would go a long way. Oswald was just the same with communism as a patsy. Easy target, no internet at the time. Also, I find Liberty University questionable as a bona fide uni. No, I think Liberty has legitimate degrees and legitimate programs. I've met some Liberty grads who are very astute. But that doesn't mean everything they do is legitimate or bona fide. 202 new potential patsies. That's right. You can't, if you don't put their name out there, we don't know if they're patsies. You're picking up. You're wearing your Real Baron podcast glasses and you're looking at the news the way I look at the news. Oh, look, there's news. Here's what it means. Oh, look, more news. Here's what it means. Do they just have another weapon of mass destruction to dig up in Iran? Allegedly. Yeah. I do think there's something to this ancient tech and ancient sites theory. I do. Love your work, sir. The guys at TPUSA are so repulsive and gross. Agreed. And that's not even getting onto their politics or lying. It's just looking at them. I'm kidding, Andrew. You're a handsome man. Maybe the only one there, but that's okay. Okay. I would love to see Andrew's history, and there's nothing Christian about it. I think he was. I think he was raised in the faith. I just don't know that it's stuck. Coach Colin today, 8:10 intro into video. Frank T, MMC, Rob MC talking about Vance Kirk 2028. Podcast was a week after Charlie Kirk Memorial. They could not stop smiling. I need to check that out. With the time change and everything, I did not have a chance to watch his show today. I slept a little longer than I intended to. How do I gift a membership? I think you go and instead of doing like a chat or a super chat, it gives you the opportunity to gift memberships. I think it's one of the options. If haven't yet, screenshot EK and others' LinkedIn backgrounds, history, etc. Deleted old Charlie videos, and they'll try to delete their own professional credentials. I did better than that. Daisy had the presence of mind to realize I had put it up on the screen. And they changed it after the fact. Dishonest, lying liars who lie. Allegedly, in my opinion. Do you think Vance is aware of the Vance Kirk ticket? I don't know. You're right. That would make it even worse if he was. Trump just said, Iran, give up. We're going to blow up the face of the earth. Yeah, right. We're lucky nothing has landed on U.S. soil. Christ is king. God bless. Christ is king indeed. Obviously, there are Trump cabinet members worried that something could land on U.S. soil. They are begging to have their underground nuclear bunkers built quickly. Baron, longtime listener and fan. You calling Tilly in your accent and bringing her on camera was worth a super jet. Go Max Baron. Do I have an did I call her with an accent? I'm going to have to go back and listen to that now. Now I'm self-conscious. I'll never call my dog again on this show. Counselor, how does a live video become demonetized? Ian 911. Did they demonetize that video? They just turn it off. I've had a few done that way. And the danger isn't that you're not going to make money on it. The danger is when they demonetize it, it kind of puts a tab on it puts your channel on notice. You get a little closer look. That's part one. Part two is they don't push out demonetized videos. It doesn't show up in people's feeds. You got to go looking for them because they only want to put videos in front of people they can sell ads on. I'm going to look at the grumblers. We have grumblers over there itching to be heard. I look at you guys. I don't see any grumblers. I mean, I see grumblers. Oh, there's a grumbler. I don't give a damn. Is this you? No. The Department of War actions sound like Pam shouting the Dow is over 50,000. The Jeffrey files are not in Iran, but stealing Venezuela's oil helped circle back America. You can't say circle back. I say circle back. EK used to stop the plug vicariously. Use the evil stop to plug vicariously Charlie's book. Oh, I see. Stop in the name of. Baron, if we end up officially at war with Iran, can a wartime president suspend an election, thus keeping Trump in office for a third term? Interesting thought. I don't think so. I mean, Lincoln had an election in the middle of the Civil War, and half the states didn't even participate. I don't know. Thank you for that generous contribution, Tracy. Or Trace. I'm not sure which. I'm not good at spelling. I'm not good at pronouncing. I'll say that. I was in Desert Shield Storm. My son was in Afghanistan. We're coming up on 3 generations in Middle Eastern wars, keeping troops in prayers. Christ is king indeed. So see, I look at the grumblers. Y'all act like I don't. Like, I love you people. Don't bring you guys over there. Baron, Israel was behind Butler, PA. Wiggle in your seat for yes. Stay still for the rest of the show for no. I honestly, I don't think so. That was not my conclusion that I drew. Rewatched Joe Rogan episode 1125 with Candace. Prophetic. She was young, brave, and steadfast. Salt of the earth. It's relevant to the case. She talks about Charlie a ton, more than the clip that's circulating. I'll go back and watch that. I haven't watched that in years. I watched it when it came out, but that was years ago. How many years ago was that? 3, 4, 5 years ago? As a former homeschooler, I feel attacked by TPUSA. Where were they when I was a teen in 2001? Charlie was, how old was he? 13 or something? They weren't around. Mentioning missing kids, those kids in Maui during the fire, still no word. Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Can you do a members only when we look into some of these tips and see how you and Daisy investigate leads and help? Daisy and I talked about that. It's I think it would be boring. A lot of the research is very boring, very tedious. So that wouldn't make an exciting show at all. The second thing is it's more of a curiosity thing. It's not something that can be taught necessarily. It's something that as you observe and you see the curiosity in action, then I feel like you know what to go look for. But just to have someone say, here's how you search deed records in Ohio. Here's how you search birth records in Arkansas. Here's how you search. I mean, I'm not sure that makes a good show. But to have someone that has the curiosity to go, wait a minute, I bet if we find deed records in Ohio, it'll give us names that'll put us onto this, that'll help us draw the connection, that'll help us close. You know, that's just a level of curiosity that can't be taught. Just got to be observed and mimicked. Made spicy vodka pasta for dinner to eat while we watched Baron. High IQ and high calorie outfit. I had pasta today. It was a gluten-free pasta, but it was delicious. Mrs. Coleman made a nice tomato sauce to go with it. It was wonderful. I went to Jaco in September 2015 with a couple of friends, one Israeli that planned the trip. There are a ton of Israeli hostels there. We stayed in one. Always wondered why there were so many there. Now it's making more sense. Oh, my goodness. That's an interesting data point. Thank you for sharing that. That's something that needs to be looked into. I used to be addicted to Louder with Crowder. He was sanity every morning during Biden years. Now it's you and Candace, and I don't know what happened to Crowder, but I still don't recognize him anymore. But I don't recognize him. I don't know what happened to him. he had that spat with his wife, and he's not been the same since. All Go Daddy domain parking is in Scottsdale. Oh, that makes sense. That helps answer that question. Can you talk about your favorite moments during the Father Ripperger on Sean? It is the reason I attended my first mass this morning. Favorite moments? I did watch it. If you've ever watched The Exorcist Files, or not watched, listen to The Exorcist Files on Spotify. A lot of what he said was kind of rehash. He and Father Carlos Martins do very similar ministries. And Father Carlos Martins is the host of The Exorcist Files. And so I don't know that I have a favorite moment. I think watching Sean's questions were very good because he normally doesn't do a good job of follow-up questions, but he actually did do some really good follow-up questions, like on particular topics, sexual sins, lying, and listen to Father Ripperger talk about the impact those sins have in terms of opening up your soul for use, occupation. I think was a very enlightening refresher, perhaps. But yeah. Baron, your Charlie clip. Look at his wedding ring. I noticed it was on his middle finger. It was not on his ring finger. But he moved around a lot. He played with that thing a lot. Actually, let's see if she responded. Not yet. Actually asked a friend who would have seen Charlie's wedding ring up close. What is the wedding ring? I can't find an up close image of it. It looks like a signet ring of some sort, but I don't know why that would be his wedding ring. I'm the girl with the info on Vegas shooting, including pick a phone case. Shot out of my hand. I'm stupid and don't know how to share. I'll give my number. Don't give your number. Hold on. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Oh, you're saying you don't know how to share it with me? Well, email me and we'll work it out. We'll do a screen share or something. You don't have to give me but email me and put like whatever in there. Shot out of my hand. That's scary. That is really scary. Again, Edge. I'm in Bean Footage's camp. Let's go to Tombstone. I mentioned a reckoning in a previous chat, and I'm serious. How to initiate an investigation in TPUSA? Why haven't they? Well, A, we don't know that they haven't. Maybe it led to 202 arrests in Scottsdale. I don't know. But at some point, a reckoning is due. No wedding ring on CK725. EK equals Philly's new long game. I'll have to look at that clip again. I saw he had a wedding ring on. It just was on his middle finger, that clip I played. Happy Sunday, Baron. Have you read Zechariah Sitchin's book about ancient astronauts? Humans are alien ape hybrids. Please pray for my 16-year-old Desmond having lots of angst and behavior issues. St. John Bosco, pray for us. I've not read his book, but I've heard a lot about it. I don't buy the ancient human alien ape hybrid theory. But I do buy that demons have been visiting humanity for a long time, under the guise of aliens and whatnot. True Oddity. I built a large system that I watch you on. Recently rebuilt 320 inches of monitor, twin water-cooled i7s. Counselor, only your podcast crashes my browsers. Just odd. I didn't know that, but that's a heck of a setup. I'll be your Huckleberry. Being here with you, Candace, Coach, Lionel, etc., is more than fortuitous. Yes, I can quote the whole movie. Same. I've quoted it on the record before in court cases, and nobody knew I was quoting it. Someone asked me about something. I said, "Well, that's the rumor," and others. Tyler Boyer lost a lot of weight in the last year. I wonder if the stress of all this had something to do with it. Just an observation. Either that or Wegovy. Or what's the big one everybody takes? I can't remember. But the weight loss shot. I think that probably is it also. You got to have a conscience to feel guilt. For mods, maybe they can help my secrets. You have secrets? I covet everyone's prayers. I feel comfortable asking, since this is a show that has a heart for sobriety. Tomorrow, my brother will start his 12-year sentence for DUI wreck. Everyone was okay. My brother has a wife, 13-year-old and 3-year-old. Oh, man. 12-year sentence? That is ludicrously long. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll pray for you guys. That's a long sentence for DUI. Just happy with the fellow pickup truck. You got a W sticker on it. More I watch the change in Trump's stance, AD Kirk. I believe they used that to scare him into this. I think there was a there. They would have used it during the election. Oh, if there was a there, they would have used it. Maybe. I don't discount that entirely. Have you considered that Charlie had to fake his death oath due to threats? Could have took him out in the back of the car. Oh, have I considered Charlie set up to fake his death? No. I have considered Charlie set up to fake an attack, and then they used it to finish him off. I have considered that. I don't necessarily land on that. But I have considered it and put a lot of thought into it, frankly. I really loved your opening statement, how you highlighted Charlie Kirk's position on current affairs. Your investigative work is truly top-notch. Thank you for the fantastic show. Well, thank you for the fantastic compliment. I appreciate that. Follow up, Excel timeline spreadsheet sent today to consolidate pageants, school, life with CK. I know you're behind. Just send it today. Yeah, we'll chat. If you send it today, I'll see it. Hey, Baron. Definitely makes sense that Vance would have had knowledge of the plan. Thoughts? Thank you. Maybe. I don't know that they would have to have his knowledge. Candace owes you a George interview. She says one a year. Has not done one since the end of 24. Thank you. God bless you for your work. Candace, I'm asking. First, I'm assuming you're watching. And if you are, I'm asking. But if you don't watch, I will shamelessly text you at some point and ask you. The domain doesn't imply belief or support in ability. Betting on probability because candidates pay top money for domains. It's a literal business. I buy domains to flip as well. Another perspective. No, the domain is not definitive proof that there was some sort of inside effort with the Vance or Kirks to purchase this domain. But the timing is suspicious. No doubt about it. Look at TPUSA-faith.org. Same layout as Vance 2028. It's probably because it's just a holding thing, but I'll look. TPUSA-faith.org. Yeah, it is the same, isn't it? I wonder if that's just a holding thing. Yeah, the copyright's the same too. That would have been added. That might just be let me look at my GoDaddy hold. See if it looks the same. I've got several. Oh, yeah. My GoDaddy holding is the same, and I didn't buy the Vance Kirk 2028. So that doesn't tell me much. Daisy, literally savage. I love you, Daisy. Yes. Savage. Oh, I didn't show that one. Sorry. Yes. Pete Hegseth just ended 60 Minutes with "We are just at the beginning. Grand jury definitely needs a discount on bunkers. Code Baron. Idaho for when you can. Brian K., a super Patsy." The Brian Kohlberger case is very interesting to me because of the idea that there was witness testimony that there was another person there. Or witness statement, perhaps, is the proper way to say it. Y'all hear that? We were talking about you. TPUSA. Their ears are burning. That's what we non-Yankees say. Black Dog is a no Joe patrol. LOL. Love it. Christ is king. Amen. I don't know who Black Dog is, but Christ is king indeed. Kate Grand Rapids. EK does not seem intellectually capable of starting any overseas nonprofit, but especially one as sophisticated as trafficking. Do you believe another entity fully created these and then simply found someone sick enough to agree to be affiliated? You mean like her mom? Thank you for that generous contribution. Ivan, the new ballroom includes a massive underground data center. New architect Shalom Baranis also built the Pentagon wedges 2 through 5 post 9/11. I didn't know that about the architect. Do we have evidence on the data thing, or is that just speculation? Why would you put a data center there? Hi, Baron. Have you checked out Professor Jang's YouTube channel regarding U.S. losing Iran war and moving towards Pax Judaica? Israel becoming global superpower. I hate to say it. His lectures are very compelling. Wondering what you think. I used to watch his stuff, and I've watched a few here and there after I quit watching. I feel like he has an agenda, and I can't quite put my finger on it. My same reaction, man. Same. This doo-doo pisses me off to no end. The last live, you said you didn't know what Jesus really looked like. Someone did an AI of the Turin Shroud. I tweeted it to you. I've seen that. But it looked like it took a lot of artistic license. My husband is deployed for over a year now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's a long deployment these days. I mean, back in the World War I days, you'd be deployed 3 or 4 years. But these days, a year is a long deployment. I hope he returns home safely and soon. JD did say EK would make a great VP on Candace's pod. That makes me judge his character. Erika Kirk equals Elizabeth Holmes. Theranos. Elizabeth Holmes had an interesting tweet last night where she was looking for an independent investigator to look into something. I responded to her. And I never went back to look and see if she ever got back to me. What I'm doing now. I forgot to look. Let's see. I'll have to go. Oh, there it is. I'll have to go through and find it. See if she responded. She said something about tag the independent journalist who would look at it. And I was like, I'll look at it. What are you talking about? She suggested it was dangerous. I wondered if it had to do with my opening. Not like she saw my opening and thought I needed to follow up on this, but if it was the same subject. PSA for everyone bringing up the palm gun. Watch number 33 with Blake Bednar's convincing stuff regarding Brian Harpole. Hard for me to believe anything else at this point. Duly noted. We had Blake on to talk about the episode. Have you happened to see the music video released yesterday, Candace Owens, Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's Home by Ad Fleet? You got to check it out. I have. I thought it was phenomenal. She made Candace amazing. Baron, highly enjoy your show. Great work. And Daisy behind the curtain. And sometimes on the screen, if you guys are on the members shows, you'll get to hear from her from time to time. Thank you for that contribution, brother. You are hilarious. This is a high Q outfit, but you just did the Gary blink after Daisy had you go EK LinkedIn education. First time super chat, but haven't missed the show since October. Go Max. Yeah, I did, didn't I? I'm behind. Got in late. But Baron calling the bunker guy is one of the best things I've ever seen. Had stand up to new things to do. I don't know that I would do stand up. I'm jealous of those guys though, because it looks like they're having so much fun up there. Maybe Jimmy Dore will have me along. If he's ever in the Southeast, I'll go visit him and I'll do like a 2-minute set. I've got one good joke I want to tell. Happy Sunday, Christ is King. Well, happy Sunday indeed. Thank you, Shoe Lady from Huntsville, Alabama. Very generous and kind. Who are the friends, family that are from Utah? Erika mentions in her wedding video. I don't know. Actually, it might be the. I do know. Actually, it's the Carla and Carla Solomon. I think is who it is. But I could be wrong about that. But I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I literally LOL'd when you said she calls you granddad. Yeah, she does. What's wrong with that? I'm her granddad. She's technically my 16-year-old daughter's dog, but my 16-year-old daughter has kind of gone full teen mom on the dog and isn't really raising her. She's been dumped on grandma and granddad, and grandma and granddad take good care of her. She sleeps in our room. She growls at every bump in the night. You wake up in the middle of the night and you realize a bird just tapped on the window or something. She's great, though. Great dog. CK has firmly stated she was not interested or planning to run for president. Also, what are your thoughts on Mike Evans and Foz commissioning pastors? I don't know anything about that last sentence. The first sentence, I don't believe anything she says. Nothing. She also said she wasn't interested in pageants and sort of did it against her will. So count me among the Erika skeptics. Charlie Kirk said he thought his stay-at-home wife would be the next great president. They genuinely think we're stupid. It's laugh-out-loud ridiculous. Yes, indeed, they do. Edge, because they do not recognize Christ's sacrificial offering of salvation or Christ as the high priest, and they're dumb. Edge has a way with words. Hope Candace sees every bit of proof of what Devil Barbie just did on LinkedIn and does a show on it. Peeps need to know what a liar she is. Also, what's happening in Iran is awful. BB equals devil. I could make her aware of it. I could send it to her. But yeah, she's such a scam artist. Assuming that's her. I mean, I'm assuming she has control over that page. Speaking to my Southern Georgia soul counselor, I'm trying. Are you from Waycross? Albany, Georgia? Are you from Albany? Oh, sorry. James Comer said today Epstein victims turned into victimizers. Immediately thought that's what EK is. Stay tuned. There may be more coming down the pike on pipe. Rebuilding the temple isn't about furthering the cause of Christ. It's about bringing the end of times. Evangelical Zionism is a death cult, Heaven's Gate on global scale. Hard to disagree with any of that. EK Bible in 365 points to Proclaim 365 site. Proclaim Streetwear site was a separate site. Now all point to Proclaim 365 site. Kicker changed on 8/25/25 per Leafly. Daisy, are you catching any of that? We need to look at that. I'm taking a picture. That's going to you. Thank you. That's good information. If these pilots value their lives, they're going to keep quiet. We have a way of protecting people. Thank you, Baron, for your views on Iran and connecting the dots to Charlie. It all resonates so loudly. Keep up your amazing work, you and your team. Yes, thank you. We're doing our best out here. I just don't understand why EK is lying about everything. Do you think she was MK Ultra, like Coach Colin thinks? Also worrying prospect, more Muslim migrants who won't integrate into European culture. I mean, anytime you dump a bunch of migrants, like a bunch, not a few here and there, but anytime you dump a bunch, it's going to change the character of the country. Like if you dumped 30 million Christians in Iran, it would not be the Iran that the Iranian people love to live in. It just wouldn't. It would fundamentally change the place. And it's, so that's, I mean, but is that part of the plan? You know, is that part of the plan? I believe there's nothing we can do to bring about the second coming of Jesus. Jesus will return on his time. Just shows the arrogance of the human race. Yeah. Also, I also firmly believe Erika and Tyler had everything to do with Charlie's death, and they just showed their hand with all the VP stuff on 9/12. Well, a couple things. One is, it's an opinion. Two, we don't know for sure that they were the ones who reserved that website on 9/12, but we do know for sure he was the one saying that on 9/22 and 9/24. We do know that. Literally the day after his memorial. So, hey, Baron, been practicing my steno skills with the opening statements. Appreciate the high IQ content. You make a great record. Much aloha to you and your family. Thanks for all you do, and Daisy too. Steno is incredibly complex. When I used to give depositions or do trials, and I would watch those, typically ladies, there were a few men, but you know, say I've seen 100 stenographers, 92 of them were women, but they would just tap those buttons, and the buttons don't have any numbers or letters or anything. They just are there, and they tap them in a pattern that makes sounds. It's fascinating. It's truly fascinating. I don't know how they do it. My wife's aunt was a stenographer, may still be. I don't know if she's retired yet or not. USA has sent the Doomsday E4 with supporting AWACS that has an AI deadman switch. It's flying there now. It's flying there? It's been flying. Well, there's several E4s, not only one. And they do fly a lot. The other day, there were 2 in the air. That was a little unusual. I can look real quick and see what you're talking about. I do not see the E4 in the air right now. But maybe it's over the water. A lot of times when they're over the water, they turn their transponder off. Or they don't broadcast. But thank you. I'm fascinated by people who are fascinated by keeping track of planes because I look at them all day. From Quebec too. What about a picture of St. Michael on the back? Destroying Satan. Continue the good job. We have 2 St. Michael icons in our house, so we are thoroughly St. Michael'd up at Club Coleman. Enjoy full-time RBP and love watching this show with this great community. Thank you. I appreciate that. Most evangelicals see third temple as signal of Antichrist. Yeah, that scares me. It's bad theology. Have you watched Fallout on Amazon Prime? If not, you should. Then compare to the bunker manufacturer. I have seen that. Yeah. Many intelligent, genuine people have been victim to partners we thought we knew. Wait a minute. Fallout. Was that I thought I saw that on Netflix. Was that kind of the end time show on Netflix about the couple that escaped with their daughter and had to bunk out with another couple, or is that some other movie? I'll check it out. Sounds like an interesting movie. Many intelligent, genuine people have been victim to partners we thought we knew. Until you live it, you can't comprehend your spouse can be a demon. Well, demon's a strong word. And probably accurate. Probably accurate in this situation. All right. Just saying. EK might be John Lovitz in drag. Oh. That got me. That made me laugh. Charlie got played by Eric and his TPUSA staff. So sad. RIP Charlie, we miss you. What's sad is he hired these people in under trust and they took advantage of it. That's what's sad to me. If it would help, I can search physical family court records in Hennepin County, Lori marriage, divorce records. Let me know if something would be helpful. Emailed you last week, Carrie. Did they get? Well, I know Lori had. Was it Hennepin County? I know Lori had a divorce in Minnesota. I don't know if that was Hennepin County. Yeah, send me what you can find. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Yes, you should have brought him up because every show he involves you and Candace. He wouldn't have a show without you. Yeah. And still only 9,000 people watch. Common Sense Show said Charlie filed for divorce 3 to 4 days before September 10th. He was also questioning his paternity. Must go watch. Unless they have proof, I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to speculate on stuff like that. You show me evidence, I'll be happy to entertain it. Do you think the offer to take TPUSA to the next level was in exchange for CK promoting regime change in Iran? Maybe. It could be. I don't know. But Bavarian, I just sent you why reinstating temple worship would be a motive for Zionists. The email is titled Reinstating Temple Worship could perhaps also be the reason why Trump thinks he won't go to heaven. I'm really weirded out by Trump saying that. Like, he doesn't think he's going to go to heaven. If you believe in heaven, granted, there's some people who don't, so they're not going to be moved by what I'm about to say. But if you do believe in it, and you also believe in the alternative, and you think you might not go, and you think there's a way you could, you should pursue that, the latter. You should pursue that last option with everything you got. If you think you might not go, and if you believe it, and if you believe in the alternative, you should pursue going. And if you don't, that bothers me. That bothers me a lot. It's about Christianity. Russian is Orthodox. Christian Ukraine is SOS removed from Russia centuries ago. Thank you. I don't know what this means. No, I don't know. I mean, I know what it means. I don't understand the relevance. Nearly every adult has ignored red flags early in relationships. Charlie was no exception. Doubt he ran a background check. He once mentioned in an interview he didn't handle his own socials. Yeah, that's telling. Erika is white Kamala. Oh, gosh. Is she that bad? Kamala? That golden voice of yours is so articulate that when I'm late to your live stream, I can clearly understand you 3x speed. Brilliant, sir. God bless you and yours. Well, thank you. That might just mean I talk slowly. Michael Jackson's They Don't Care About Us came on my YouTube feed. It's 20 years old. I didn't really understand it till now. Many people commenting on it. Yeah, they've edited it too. That's a good theme song. Can't stand the parroting weasels at Turning Point. And why do they all have that nasally, annoying Shapiro voice? Good call. If Char was Electro, wouldn't his hair been poofed? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That's kind of a cartoon thing. Media, let's get America to be emphatic to our cause. Let's tell them Iran has 1 million Christians that need America to rescue them. I'm a vet. In my opinion, praying for them is more beneficial than war. Hi, Baron. Might be off subject, and sorry if this has been talked about before. Frank Turk says that Catherine LaCastro flew in with Erika that day. That's a good piece of information. I didn't catch that. I will look that up. First, I got to know who she is. Yeah, I don't know who that is. A multilingual and world travel Dominican Republic born actress. The hell was she doing with Erika? I felt miracles, felt Jesus' mercy, including CK's knowledge. Sorry. I've felt Jesus' mercies included limiting CK's knowledge of EK, if any at all. God protected his purposeful soldier in his own ways. It's possible God spared him the pain revelation of EK. It's possible. I believe Templegate is to force God's hand to promise the land, since Judaism doesn't believe JC was the Messiah, made a new covenant. Spiritual manipulation to grow richer, bigger, be corrupt. But Baron, I need to talk to you. It's pertinent. Talking to the brains, the operation would be suffice. Well, email me. Tell me what you want to say. I'll review it. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for that generosity. I don't think Charlie would participate in some fake neutralization attempt, considering how he feared and shared this with others, that he thought they were going to kill him. Christ King. That's a good data point. A great data point. And maybe he wouldn't have. Maybe he wouldn't have at all. Wasn't the Etsy Witches website created on 9/12 or 13 as well? I don't know. That's a good. You see, this is why we do the show. Etsy. Oh, I can't delete that one because that's got the Catherine thing I need to look up. Etsy Witches website creation date. All right. Hey, Baron. Hey, Trickworm. First time I've ever said Trickworm in my life. Erika got her bachelor's degree in Puerto Rico and her master's in China. Just saying. Go Max. Christ is King. I've not heard that before. Christ is King indeed. I've not heard that. They think we're dumb. I've heard that. In my research, no less than 5 updates creations of EK's grandpa obituaries and grave marker. No obit for grandma. Ken's parents. I don't know how relevant, but odd. That's odd. Is it true the ring Charlie was wearing on 9/10 was a hinge ring? Was that his wedding ring? That's what I keep hearing, that it was a hinge ring and that was his wedding ring. My super chat keeps getting blocked. I can't say what I want to say. Browser has crashed several times. Error after error. Email it. realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. I want to know what you're saying that's causing it to crash. I agree, Iran. Yes, but in my opinion, there's a significant reason they chose 9/10. If you want more info on the data center, the Dre Dossier is a high IQ channel. I'd rather you just send me an email with the evidence. That way I don't have to go look at some channel and watch a bunch of episodes because I don't have time. Good evening and, well, bye. Also another good quote from Tombstone. Thank you, Edge. Please, George. Yes, it would be such a good interview. So good. How's that group like us of approximately 200,000 cannot get in touch with anyone at Justice Department and demand a real CK investigation? How can we be ignored? They don't care about you. They don't really care about us. The movie Heads of State struck me as predictive programming. It's a plot to kill POTUS and the UK Prime Minister. Spoiler alert, the villain ends up being the VP, and her name is Elizabeth Kirk. That's kind of terrifying. Love the hat. Thank you. Bad cop. Go Max, have you heard that Charlie was not wearing his wedding ring during his last episode? Ties into missing wedding picture. No, I need to look at that. I haven't heard that. Kayla Castro on Charlie's show with Megyn Kelly. I'll look at it. I believe you. All right, guys, we've reached that time. That time that comes every night when we must bid adieu, but not before. I tell you to like, subscribe, click notifications, share with your friends. Don't feed the trolls on Twitter. I appreciate your support. I genuinely do, but all you're doing is giving them interactions. There's no reason for it. But I do appreciate your support. I went over there and read it and hearted a bunch of the replies. But yeah, happy to have you guys here for yet another night. We'll be back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, probably in the 6 o'clock range, give or take, maybe as late as 7, but usually try to go around 6. And in the meantime, don't you ever forget, Jesus loves you. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Get a good night's sleep. It's daylight savings time. A lot of people have heart attacks this time of year because their bodies are not sleeping enough to adjust. So make sure you get in bed early tonight. Even though you don't feel like it's 8:30 Central Time, it is. So make sure whatever time you go to bed, make sure you get in bed at the normal time and get a full night's sleep. And see you soon. Jesus loves you.